All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Playmakers Corner podcast. This is episode 416. This is your 2024 Colorado Girls High School flag football recap, the finale basically for the season. On this episode, we are recapping all the semifinal games in 4A and 5A, and then finally talking about the 4A and 5A state championships. We'll recap those as we were there live. Then we'll name Playmaker of the Week, and then Gino and myself have some final thoughts on the season, just some opinions that we wanted to throw out there, and just some things that we wanted to talk about as the season comes to a close here. Now, there will be one more girls flag football episode after this. It'll be the 5A end of the year awards. That should be dropping though on November 8th. 2024. That's Friday, so make sure you check out those. But this will pretty much be the last time we talk about this season here, at least in this calendar year. That is what I'm anticipating here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the semifinal between TCA and Green Mountain. The semi happened on November 2nd with the rest of these games that we are talking about today here, but just thought to mention it. Going into this game, TCA came off of two big wins in the playoffs. First against Ellicott and then against Denver West. Neither was close. They would beat Ellicott 31-0 and Denver West 40-0 on the way here. For Green Mountain, pretty similar story as well leading up to this game here. They would face Elizabeth and beat them 44-0. And then a big time, albeit a little surprising, 39-0 win over Mullen. I think we all had Green Mountain in that Mullen game, but for them to win by that much was definitely shocking. And so going into this one, Green Mountain red hot with a lot of experience. We previewed them and all the weapons that they have. While TCA, they're a first year program. You have a lot of underclassmen on this team that are starters for them. And while Green Mountain is just the absolute opposite outside of basically Marissa Van Gilder, their star wide receiver. So there you go there. But let's go ahead and hop into this game here. In the first quarter, Green Mountain would go ahead and start with the ball, and they would get this game cooking with a handoff to Sasha Kalani. Should be just short of the first, but a play action throw. By the way, at quarterback for them is the senior Avery Friedman. So Friedman throws it over the middle on a drag route that gives them a first down. They'll then run it again. That would get them to the 33. On second here, pressure from TCA's number 32. That is the freshman standout and newcomer of the year. Make sure you check out that awards episode. That is episode 414, I believe. But anyways, Reagan Harder would get some pressure and force an incompletion. That brings up 3rd and 7. On third down, they throw it, but this pass would be dropped. So that brings up 4th and 7 here. And they'll go for it, approaching midfield with an aggressive mindset here. And on 4th down for them, Avery Friedman gets a snap, and she throws it over the middle on the drag route to the freshman standout, Marissa Van Gilder, for a huge 1st and 17 here in the red zone, as it was a big time catch of about 20 plus yards that not only got the first down past the midfield, but in the red zone, like I said. Now, first down in the red zone here, it is a passing play, so Friedman gets the snap here, but she is sacked by the freshman Reagan Harder. That brings up 2nd and 26. They then hand it off to Sasha Kalani. She gets some of that back, so now it's a more manageable 3rd and 19. Then on 3rd and 19, Friedman gets a snap, and she throws the corner route to the right side, and it's a dot to the freshman wide receiver and your Opoi winner, Marissa Van Gilder, who makes an over-the-shoulder catch to give them the 6-0 lead with 7:08 left. On the PAT, Reagan Harder gets the stop here, and so that keeps it at 6-0. TCA, they take over, though, with 7:08 left. At quarterback is the sophomore Kelsey Peterson here. She starts with a check down to one of the lone seniors, Lillian Groth, who gives them a 2nd and 2. They then run a speed option that goes back into the hands of Groth, and she gives them a first down approaching midfield, 1st and 18. after an incompletion there. They also call PI on the offense on this play, and that honestly might kill this drive. It does kill this drive as it makes it 1st and 28, and then from there they're just not able to recover as it goes incompletion / pass deflection. Then they run a hook and ladder on 3rd down, which is just way short. It's 4th and 21. They got a punt. Green Mountain, they then take over with 1st and 10 approaching midfield. 3:42 left here. They go ahead and throw it to Marissa Van Gilder as she is in double coverage, and it's tipped up, but she catches it off the tip and she goes to the house. But the refs say that the ball hit the ground here. It's a close call, but after looking at the replay, our replay from the videos that we were able to get here, looks like the ball did not touch the ground and was kicked up here. But it was an inadvertent whistle anyways. They whistled it down. So it is what it is there. That is called back, and it's called incomplete. So there you go. They then go ahead and hand it off to Sasha Kalani just to get some yards after that. She makes it 3rd and 9. On 3rd down, there's another drop, so now it's 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Like I said, very aggressive mindset for Green Mountain. And on 4th down, Friedman throws it deep here, but it's broken up, well covered, so it's a turnover on downs, a little bit of a gamble here as TCA now starts with the 1st and 11 past midfield with 1:16 left. On 1st down here, Peterson finds number 33 for them. That's the sophomore Ryan Ferguson. She makes it 2nd and 7. On 2nd, Peterson then goes deep to Harder. She has her in 1-on-1. She has a step, but it's slightly overthrown, so that's incomplete. Then on 3rd down, Peterson looking to pass. She ends up checking it down to Growthy, and that would end, to Growth, and that would end the quarter here. As to start the 2nd, TCA is in a 4th and 4 for them here, approaching the red zone, that is, and they're going to obviously go for it. And so here's what happens. On 4th down, Peterson gets a snap, throws the quick out route here that goes to Ryan Ferguson. She gives them a 1st down in the red zone. But 1st and 16 in the red zone, they snap the ball, and it is just a low snap, so it is dropped. So now it's 2nd and 22. To make things worse, there's a false start on TCA, so now it's 2nd and 27. And then to make things even worse, on 2nd and 27, they snap it, and it's another low snap. So now it's 3rd and 33. They went from going from a 1st and 16. They haven't even really ran a play yet to 3rd and 33 after 2 drop snaps and a penalty. So they just go ahead and hand it off to Lillian Growth, and she stopped for a loss. So now it's 4th and 35. They have to punt here. Just a tough way for your red zone trip to end here. Arguably the worst way it could have ended. So Green Mountain, they take over with a 1st and 5 here with 9:10 left. On 1st down and 2nd down, it is both incomplete passes. Green Mountain trying to go deep here, not really looking for anything in the middle or short. And so they're just it's well covered. It's just not there. So that brings up 3rd and 6 here. On 3rd down, they hand it off to Kalani, who cuts it out left, but she's not able to get the edge. So now that's 4th and 3, and Green Mountain has to punt as they go 3 and out. TCA taking over with 7:28 left. A 1st and 8 approaching midfield. On 1st down here, Peterson checks it down to Ferguson, who gets her flag pulled here before she can complete the hook and ladder. So it's basically just a hitch route throw. So that sets up 2nd and 6 here. And on 2nd down, Peterson gets a snap, and she's looking deep, and I mean deep, and it's 1-on-1 Reagan Harder, the freshman, who gets this pass deep down the right sideline and goes to the house here. A big time touchdown to get TCA right back in it as the crowd for TCA gets into it off of this big time splash play here on the PAT. Peterson rolls out left, and she throws a dot to number 44, Brinley Measy, the other freshman for them on this team, and that gives them the 7-6 lead here all freshmen scoring in this game to start this semis. So here we go. We got a game here. Green Mountain takes over with 6:36 left here on first down. It's a very short pass and it is dropped here. Then on second down, Friedman is forced to scramble, but she is tracked down by the freshman of TCA, Lauren Pantusa, who now makes it a tough 3rd and 3. And then on 3rd and 3 here, they only need 3 yards, but Green Mountain decides to go deep. Freeman launches one deep to the other star freshman in this game, Marissa Van Gilder, but she is double covered here. And so Green Mountain goes 3 and out here, not able to get 6 yards, being a little bit too aggressive with the play calling instead of getting something short. And so now TCA, they already have the lead, but they take over with a 1st and 8 approaching midfield here. Now, the defense for Green Mountain really comes up big here, as on first down, it's a dangerous pass that's tipped away, so it's incomplete. On second down, it's a toss forward, like a literal toss forward to number 33, Ryan Ferguson, who makes someone miss and makes it 3rd and 4. And then on 3rd down, Peterson gets a snap. She's trying to throw the out route here, but just misses it. Timing is off here, so they go 3 and out. Green Mountain avoiding going down 2 scores. And so they take over with 2:45 left. 1st and 20. Here's what happens. Friedman goes ahead and scrambles and gets loose here and goes for a 19-yard gain. Following that 2nd and 1, Friedman taking what's there, throws the drag route to Marissa Van Gilder, and she gives them a 1st down past midfield. A 1st and 7, a big play here, as they are now piecing together drives. But on 1st and 7, Friedman gets the snap, but she is sacked by the freshman, Reagan Harder. That brings up 2nd and 15 here. On 2nd down, Friedman gets a snap. They're trying to pass, but Harder with another sack, her 2nd one of this drive, to now put Green Mountain in a 3rd and 21. So they go from 1st and 7 to now 3rd and 21. They have to call a timeout with 58.6 seconds left here. After the timeout on 3rd down, they just go ahead and hand it off left to Kalani, who gets outside here and gets a nice gain, but there's an illegal contact penalty called on Kalani. There was a big collision at the end of that run, so they're going to call that on her. So now it's 3rd and 15. And then on 3rd and 15 here, Green Mountain just being a little bit too greedy again here. Friedman goes deep here to Van Gilder, but this time instead of a catch or an incompletion, it is Brooklyn Blair of TCA, the sophomore for them, who makes the big time interception, as TCA now takes over with the 1st and 20 approaching midfield with 35 seconds left. And so here we go, TCA with a chance to go ahead and extend this lead here. A small chance, but a chance here. Peterson gets a snap. She throws it to number 44, Brinley Measy, who then pitches it left to number 11, Lillian Groth, and she is gone down the left sideline to the house to go ahead and get this TCA fan base on their feet to end this half, as they go up 13-6 with 23.8 seconds left here. Now a good pass deflection by Green Mountain would keep it at a 7-point game, 13-6. But what a crazy shift of momentum here. A big point swing as Green Mountain goes from potentially taking the lead to throwing a pick, and then right after that, allowing a huge touchdown here to go ahead and give TCA the lead. Now, at the end of this half here, Green Mountain only has 24.7 seconds left, and they are taking deep shots here, which are dangerous. The first one is almost intercepted. The second one, Harder gets on the second play, that is, Harder gets her 3rd sack of the game to basically end that half here. But then Green Mountain calls a timeout and then decides to take a couple more deep shots, which are also almost intercepted. So a very aggressive game plan for Green Mountain that is just not quite working out here in this first half here, as TCA has the 13-6 lead after going down early. And to make things worse, to start the 3rd quarter, TCA starts with the ball here. So I don't know. We'll talk about that post-game here, but on first down here, Peterson gets a snap. She checks it down to Growth, who gets maybe one. Following that, Peterson hits Brindley Measy, another freshman here, on the corner route. She makes it 1st and 5, approaching midfield, a nice gain there. They then go ahead and call a reverse here to the freshman Reagan Harder, but before she could get loose, her flag is pulled short here by a Green Mountain defender in Carly Cockrum, the senior for them. And so that makes it 2nd and 3. And then on 2nd down here, Peterson trying to throw in rhythm to the breaking out route here. But Julia Schaefer of Green Mountain, the senior, makes an excellent interception, reads this one all the way and picks it off, jumping this route here. And so now Green Mountain has a 1st and 1 approaching midfield with 9:52 left here. And like I said, just an excellent interception by Julia Schaefer. This throw was going to be on the money with great timing, but Schaefer just she saw it all the way and just read this one and has great ball skills, and there's a reason why she is the best DB, one of the best in Colorado, and your DB of the year in 4A. And so, like I said, Green Mountain, 1st down and 1 approaching midfield, almost at midfield with 9:52 left. They go ahead and hand it off to Kara Harris. That gives them a 1st down, a 1st and 18. Following that, Friedman gets a snap. She tries to scramble here, but she is stopped for no gain by Reagan Harder, so it stays 2nd down. On 2nd, it's a tough drop on the drag route, so that brings up 3rd. On 3rd down here, they go ahead and call that same play, or the same concept here, this time to Kara Harris again, after she made that first drop, and she goes ahead, brings this one in, and turns it upfield to make it a 1st and 17 in the red zone. A big play here to get Kara Harris going and get this Green Mountain team going, to be honest with you. And so, 1st and 17 in the red zone. Friedman gets a snap. She decides to scramble after looking to pass. She gets a solid gain. It's now 2nd and 8. 2nd down here, Friedman rolls out right, finds Van Gilder in the flats, who reaches over for the touchdown here. An easy catch here to go ahead and put them in a position to tie it. And Green Mountain, still trying to be aggressive here, decides to go for 2. They're down 13-12 here, and here is what happens. Friedman, she gets a snap and she throws the corner left here to Harris, who brings it in on the dot. This was such a great throw here. I don't know if this could have been defended any better, but this was such a great throw by Friedman to go ahead and give Green Mountain the 14-13 lead as their gambles are paying off. Now TCA takes over with 6:32 left here. They go ahead and run it, and she goes for a gain of 1 here. On 2nd down, Peterson throws the out route to Ryan Ferguson. She's just short here, so now it's 3rd and 1. On 3rd down, they call the same concept. Peterson trying to throw the out route, but it's overthrown. That brings up 4th down. TCA's not going to risk it here. They go 3 and out and have to punt it. And so Green Mountain now with the momentum with 4:41 left, 1st and 5, approaching midfield. They go ahead and call an end round to Sasha Kalani, who cuts it back for a 1st down past midfield. A big gain here as it's now 1st and 10 past midfield. They then toss it right here, but she is stopped for 1 yard. Toss to Kalani, by the way, and she's stopped by Lauren Pantusa. Then on 2nd and 9 here, Friedman drops back looking to pass, going deep, but Lauren Pantusa comes up with another big play, this time a sack to bring up 3rd and 14. And then handed off here to number 19 of Green Mountain. That would be Sasha Kalani, but she would be stopped by Lauren Pantusa. Still a gain of around 5 or so, but it's 4th and 9 here. And on 4th and 9, they're obviously going to go for it past midfield. Friedman gets the snap. She throws a dot to Van Gilder on the out route, but they call her out of bounds here. Couldn't quite see from our angle if she got a foot down or not, but they said she was just out. I thought it was close, so that's a turnover on downs. TCA with 1:29 left, 1st and 11 approaching midfield. Here's what happens. They go ahead and hand it off to Lillian Growth, but she's stopped by Hartle for a loss, so now it's 2nd and 13. Then on 2nd and 13, it's another low snap, so now it's 3rd and 19 here. So 3rd and 19, they got to get something. Peterson gets a snap, and she's going deep to Reagan Harder, and Harder readjusts to the ball, and she gets this one, and she cuts it back, and she is gone to the house to make it 19-14 here. Just A great play by Reagan Harder to adjust to this pass here, as the DB was almost, she could have picked it off here and almost had a chance to, but this readjustment by Harder just snatched that ball out of her hands, and then she was just gone from there. And so now it's 19-14 on the PAT. They're going to go for 2, and they throw it. It's tipped up, almost caught, but she drops it here. It would have been good if she caught it. And so TCA only with a 5-point lead, and Green Mountain taking over with 4 seconds left. And to start, they hand it off to Kalani. It goes for no gain. That brings us to the top of the fourth quarter. TCA leading this playoff game 19-14. The winner of this game with a chance to go to state. Green Mountain with the ball, though, with a 2nd and 6 on second down. Friedman checks it down to Wallace. Olivia Wallace, that is the senior. It's now 3rd and 3 on that 3-yard gain. On third down here, pressure by Lauren Pantusa, the rusher, forces an incompletion, and so Green Mountain has to go 3 and out. TCA with 10:40 left, 1st and 4 approaching midfield, a chance to go up by 2 scores. On first down, though, it's an overthrow. On second down, it's a pitch forward to Ryan Ferguson. She makes it 3rd and 1. On third here, Peterson runs it across and gets the first down. It's now 1st and 20 past midfield. But then a false start, another mistake for this TCA offense, now makes it 1st and 25. On first down here, Peterson rolls out right and throws it deep to Harder, but it is triple coverage. Lucky it's not intercepted. It's just incomplete. So that brings up 2nd down here. Peterson checks it down to Growth. It's now 3rd and 24 as she only gets 1. On third down here, Peterson rolls out and she throws it, and it's a low throw caught by Brooklyn Blair here to make it more manageable 4th and 4. They are approaching midfield, but TCA deciding to play the field positioning game. They go ahead and punt it, and so Green Mountain with 6:13 left has the 1st and 1 here. On first down, Friedman throws the drag route, this time to number 15, Olivia Wallace, the senior. She gives them a first down, a 1st and 14 approaching midfield. Friedman then goes ahead and throws the drag route to Marissa Van Gilder to make it 2nd, but there's a penalty thrown on TCA, so this will actually be a 1st and 19 past midfield for Green Mountain. On first down, Friedman gets a snap, finds a soft spot here in the defense and throws it to Van Gilder. That makes it 2nd and 6. They then hand it off here to Kara Harris, the senior, who is stopped just short of the first down. It's 3rd and 2. They then call an end around here, I believe to either Harris or Kalani, but either way, it's stopped by Lauren Pantusa, the big time freshman rusher for TCA. That now brings up 4th and 3. Green Mountain really needing this one to extend this drive. And on 4th down, Friedman drops back, but she is sacked by Lauren Pantusa. Another big sack to end this drive, as she is having one of the best games of her young career so far. And so TCA takes over with 3:34 left, 1st and 14 approaching midfield here. They have a chance to put this one away. So 1st and 14, they check it down to Lillian Growth. She now makes it 2nd and 12. On second down here, it's the speed option. It's pitched left here to Growth. She makes it 3rd and 6. On third down here, Peterson looking to throws it, and it's picked off by Julia Schaefer in a last gasp for Green Mountain here. A great play by Schaefer to give them one more shot at taking the lead here. And so here we go, Green Mountain with 1:56 left, 1st and 1 after the excellent interception. On 1st and 1, there's some incidental contact on this passing play. It's incomplete, maybe PI, but they don't call it there. So there you go there. On 2nd down, Friedman checks it down to Kalani, who spins forward, but there's a penalty for an illegal block. So what would have been a 1st down is now a 2nd and 11. And then this TCA crowd is getting loud here. 2nd and 11. It's a delay of game for Green Mountain. So that makes it 2nd and 16. And Green Mountain has to call a timeout at 1:42 left. This TCA crowd is going crazy at this moment. The vibes are immaculate. And so here we go. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 16. 1:42 3:32 left. Friedman gets a snap, and she throws it deep to number 5, Julia Schaefer here, who's in 1-on-1, but it is just overthrown and well covered anyway, so it's incomplete. So now that brings up third down. On third down here, Friedman finds Kara Harris on the drag route. She makes it 4th and 8 here. On 4th and 8, they got to go for it, as this is one of their, arguably their last chance to go ahead and go up big. And on 4th and 8, Friedman takes a shot deep here, but it is well covered, and this time it is intercepted by Brooklyn Blair. But the tough thing is that she is downed pretty much immediately. So TCA has a minute 04 left, but it is 1st and 19 as they're backed into their own end zone here. And so they go ahead and call a timeout before this first down play. It's 1:04 left. And on 1st and 1, they got to pass it. You can't risk running it and getting a safety. And obviously you can't take a knee here and risk a safety there. And so they pass it, but it's dropped. Second down here, they throw it, or they try to throw it, but she is sacked by a number of Green Mountain defenders. Also at the same time, though, as she lets go of the ball here, it is picked off by Schaefer, who would have been able to return it for a touchdown, but they call her down before the interception. So either way, Green Mountain, they get a score here to make it 19-16, cutting into this lead. But you do got to think what ifs if they didn't quite get to her as quick, and that would have been an interception to potentially give them the lead here. And yeah, it would be the lead, because if they scored, it would have been 20-19, and then TCA would have to score a touchdown. But instead, it's 19-6. They are trailing by 3. Green Mountain with a 1st and 6 on the other side of the field now, because that's how safeties work. With 50.8 seconds left, they got to drive the length of the field to score. And so here's what happened. On 1st down, Friedman tries to take a deep shot, but it is just double covered, so that's knocked away. On 2nd, she checks it down to Kalani over the middle. She makes it 3rd and 4. Her flag's pulled right away, so Green Mountain calls a timeout here. They're 2nd at, I believe, 38 seconds. Or at least that's what the refs say, as some time must have rolled off, and then they said to reset it at 38, which is interesting. So 38 seconds left here. Not second down. Green Mountain called their second timeout. It's now 3rd and 4 here. Friedman gets a snap. She passes it deep, but it is picked off by number 44, Brinley Measy of TCA. But hold up a minute. It is a roughing the passer penalty that is called. So what ended up being an interception is now a 1st and 14 for Green Mountain, as the clock stops, by the way, at 28.9 here. On 1st down, they throw the out route, but it's just a little overthrown. It's now 2nd. On 2nd, they throw the post route here to Kara Harris, but this one is triple covered again. Lucky it's not picked off. It's knocked away, so it's 3rd down. Green Mountain still alive here. On 3rd down, Friedman throws it, but this one is just dropped here. An uncharacteristic drop here. So now that brings up 4th down, 10.9 left. This TCA fan base is on their feet, as well as the Green Mountain ones, but with the opposite vibe, as you could probably expect here. So here we go, 4th down, but before they could run the play, it's a false start. So now it's 4th and 19. So this is a very far 1st down to get, but you got to try to score here. And on 4th down, Friedman gets a snap. She throws it deep to the corner to Van Gilder, but it's broken up by the freshman Brinley Measy, and that will send TCA to state, as that incompletion would force a turnover on downs, and TCA would go ahead and claim this playoff win, the semi-playoff win here, 19-16 over Green Mountain, to play the winner of Mountain View and George Washington. So an electric game here for both of these teams, really. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about Green Mountain here. I'm going to be honest, I just felt like there were times the game plan was a little bit too aggressive, trying to take deep shots instead of taking what's there. And I mean, it's 1st and 20, right? But you could get like 2 or 3 5 to 10 yard gains and be fine, and you don't need it all in one. And I think at the beginning of the game, there are some of those plays that were definitely there, but they're either dropped or missed, or is just good defense in 1-on-1. But as the game definitely progressed here, TCA was really not allowing anything deep. Every deep pass was pretty much double or triple covered at that point, and they really didn't allow any, and that's why they got so many interceptions and were able to get back in it. But this Green Mountain team, they never backed down. Julia Schaefer came up big and was really just fighting for Green Mountain to get back into this game. She got a couple interceptions, but that last one that she would have gotten if it wasn't a safety would have been big. That would have been the game-winning one unless TCA drove down the field right after and scored. But that momentum shift would have been drastic for sure, and they would be a lot stacked against TCA there. So that's definitely a little bit of a what-if play. What if Green Mountain picked it off instead of getting the sack there? And that's just a tough way to lose, but it's not like they didn't have their opportunities to score. They had about a minute to drive down the field and make something happen, but just too many incompletions and just not enough plays to build a drive and some decent scoring opportunities, and just a lot of deep shots that just weren't quite there. And like I said, I think I said this in my season, well, in the season preview and in my predictions last week when it came to Green Mountain. I picked TCA for the upset because Green Mountain's turnovers, they worried me, and TCA was used to playing in tough games. Their defense has challenged tough offenses in this state here, and that's what they did to Green Mountain today, and it was just tough. I felt like if Green Mountain maybe took more of a, let's build this drive approach, get some drags, slants, not take as many deep shots here as it's just not there, then they probably would have won it. But just a little over aggressive here, and that's just tough for them. For this Green Mountain team, the thing that makes this especially tough is the number of seniors on this team. Their starting quarterbacks, seniors, Sasha Kalani and Kara Harris. They're two big-time utility players, seniors. And by the way, Kara Harris, she struggled with a couple jobs to start this game, but she really got going and was a big reason why they, almost won it, honestly. And so that alone is tough. Julia Schaefer, DPOY candidate, our best DB in 4A, voted by us, by the way. Make sure you check out that episode. She's going to be gone. That's one of their best over there, too. So you're losing some big-time seniors, and that's just naming a few here, not including an Olivia Wallace, who made some big plays in this one as well. Just naming a few there. So you're losing some big ones, but you do return a freshman in Marissa Van Gilder, who had herself a game. There's a point in this game where, I think most of this game, where it was just freshmen scoring, and it was a duel between Van Gilder, Harder, and Measy, basically, over there at TCA. And that's electric. That says a lot about the future of Colorado high school football. And, Van Gilder is already one of the best receivers in the state, and she's only going to get better. This is only the beginning. So for her to go to the semis as a freshman, I think will really pay off down the line for Green Mountain. Now, they do got to fill out some other spots here, but having a player like Van Gilder to throw to makes life a lot easier. So, still a very bright future for Green Mountain, as they have arguably the best receiver in the state. After this year, definitely one of the best receivers in the state, if not the best. And so, I think they'll be fine. It's just tough to lose with this senior group that has been around for a while. Green Mountain is a 3-year program, so some of these players have been with them since the start, since their first season, and so that's just tough to see for them over there. But this is a fine program, and I think they're going to be able to learn from this experience of the semis and come back here in the future and, be able to potentially contend. So there you go there. Now for TCA, man, the young core of this squad, per usual, made some big plays. Obviously, you have Kelsey Peterson, the sophomore quarterback. She was making plays, but Brooklyn Blair with those interceptions in the second, that was absolutely big, right? You had Reagan Harder, who was just absolutely burning this defense at times and just taking the top off. She was big time. Not to mention at rusher as well, applying a lot of pressure there. Speaking of rusher, you have Lauren Pantusa, who had like 2 or 3 drives in the second half that she basically just ended on her own there, which is absolutely huge. Brinley Measy as well made some big catches. Ryan Ferguson, only a sophomore, made some big catches. These players are all underclassmen. They got at least 2 more years left, and that is scary considering the potential of this TCA team. And also, especially considering that now they have bought their ticket, punched their ticket really, to state. So We'll talk about them more here in that state championship recap. Just stay tuned here. But TCA, they win the semifinal game in impressive fashion, grinding it out 19-16 over Green Mountain.
What is good, y'all? This is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I am so excited to give you all a recap of the Final Four matchup between Mountain View and George Washington. Mountain View has been the top team in 4A for this entire season, and then George Washington has been a bit of a surprise here. We didn't have any stats for them during the regular season, so I wasn't really sure what to expect from them in the playoffs, but they have come on and absolutely torn things up. They are a very exciting young team to look out for, and this should be a very, very good matchup. The winner of this matchup will move on to play in the first ever 4A sanctioned girls flag football championship. So with that all out of the way, let's not waste any more time and jump right into this recap here, where we have George Washington starting off with the ball, 1st and 6. The all-PMC quarterback Cadence Thomas scrambles on first down, but she is stopped by Maya Artis. But illegal contact on the defense makes it 1st and 15. On first down, a pitch to Madison Honeycutt is stopped by Gwen Marks to make it 2nd and 18. On 2nd down, the center Brooke Hunter goes out on a wheel route, and Cadence Thomas goes through her progressions and finds her for a big gain near midfield to make it 3rd and 2. On 3rd down, a pass to Staya Yo Savage. Sorry if I mispronounced that there. I'm sure I butchered that. She gets the first down across midfield to make it 1st and 16. On 1st down, a pass is incomplete over the middle, but illegal contact makes it 1st and 6 near the red zone. On 1st down, Mountain View rushes 3, but Cadence Thomas is able to hit Savage on a quick out to make it 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, a pass for a first down in the red zone makes it 1st and 19. Gwen Marks makes a big play for a loss of 4 yards as she shuts down the run to make it 2nd and 23. Cadence Thomas rolls out right, but she is sacked to make it 3rd and 24. It is yet another sack on the next play as Meg Hidalgo gets the sack to make it 4th and 31. And then on 4th down, a deep ball to Madison Honeycutt is incomplete to make that a turnover on downs. It will be 1st and 9 for Mountain View after the turnover on downs. A direct snap goes to Michaela Macias for a huge gain and first down, plus a hold makes it 1st and 13 across midfield. A pass over the middle to the center Violet Hidalgo from the QB Mason Premer makes it 1st and 20 in the red zone. A quick pass to Jessica Hobson goes for 6 yards, and then Mason Premer scrambles for a massive gain as she goes out of bounds to make it 3rd and 3. On 3rd down, Premer scrambles into the end zone after clashing into the defense, but illegal contact there makes it 3rd and 13. On 3rd down, a handoff goes to Mia Artis, who goes all the way untouched into the end zone for the touchdown. It is 6-0 with 4:27 left here in the first quarter, and make that 7-0 after the extra point. 1st and 6 here for George Washington after the score. Cadence Thomas somehow avoids the sack on a triple rush, but Mia Artis still tracks her down on the scramble, so that will only be a 2-yard gain there. A skinny post to Staya Savage over the middle in stride goes for a big gain to make it 1st and 8 near midfield. An illegal block on the next play makes it 1st and 18. And then Thomas uses amazing footwork in the pocket as she steps up to find Olivia Chomiak for a first down, but an illegal block makes it 1st and 28. On 1st down, Caitlin Little gets a sack to make it 2nd and 32. On 2nd and very long, Cadence Thomas steps up with more great pocket movement as she launches one deep to Savage, who makes the diving grab for a first down across midfield. And then you throw in roughing the passer on the play. That makes it 1st and 11 here for George Washington. A check down goes for no gain, and then a dangerous pass is incomplete. On 3rd and 10, pass interference on a deep ball to Madison Honeycutt makes it 1st and 20 in the red zone for George Washington. Thomas avoids 2 sacks and scrambles for a few yards before being stopped by Gwen Marks to make it 2nd and 18, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter where Mountain View leads George Washington 7-0. To start the first quarter, it is a quick pass to Olivia Chomiak, and it is stopped by Kendall Finley to make it 3rd and 10. Caitlin Little tracks down Cadence Thomas on a scramble to make it 4th and 9. It will be yet another 4th down try here for the George Washington offense. On 4th down, Cadence Thomas goes through her progressions and hits Madison Honeycutt in the end zone for the touchdown. Ellie Harper breaks up the extra point pass, so it is 7-6 with 10:32 left here in the first half. It will be 1st and 6 for Mountain View. A pass to Mia Artis on a curl route gets them the first down, and then a pass for 8 yards is followed by a handoff to Gwen Marks for a nice gain to make it 1st and 20 across midfield. Madison Honeycutt drops an interception on first down, and then a curl to Mia Artis is stopped by Cadence Thomas to make it 3rd and 11. Mason Premer on 3rd down hits Michaela Macias up the seam for a big gain, plus a hold on George Washington, and that makes it 1st and 5 in the red zone. On first down, a handoff goes to Macias, and it is stopped for no gain. Sophia Stambuk gets a hurry and forces an incompletion to make it 3rd and 5 here. A direct snap goes to Kendall Finley, who throws it to the center, Violet Hidalgo, but she gets stopped just short of the goal line. It will be 4th and inches here as Mountain View calls timeout with 6:32 left. Coming out of the timeout, a direct snap goes to Kendall Finley again, who fakes right and shovels it to Michaela Macias for the touchdown. A direct snap goes to Finley on the extra point, and she hits Gwen Marks for the extra point, and it will be 14-6 here with 6:28 left in the first half. George Washington would get the ball back 1st and 6 after that score, but they would end up turning it over on downs rather quickly. They started off with a quick pass to the center, Brooke Hunter, who went a long way down the sideline after a missed flagpole. But Meg Hidalgo would end up getting a sack, and Jessica Hopkins broke up a pass on the sideline with great coverage there. And then Caitlin Little got the drive-ending sack to give the ball back to Mountain View. It is 1st and 20 now for Mountain View at midfield with 3:27 left. A quick pass goes to Mia Artis, and it is stopped by Cadence Thomas after 4 yards. Following an incomplete pass on 3rd and 16, Mason Premer throws a bomb to Mia Artis, who makes the jumping catch, and that is a first down in the red zone. On 1st and 10 in the red zone, Michaela Macias gets a run for 6 yards. And then following an incomplete pass on 3rd and 4th down, it is 4th and 4 here for Mountain View as they call timeout with 32 seconds left in the half. Coming out of the timeout, Mason Premer takes the snap. She goes through her reads and looks for Mia Artis along the sideline, but Cadence Thomas baits the pass here as she picks it off in the end zone. And it will be 1st and 11 for George Washington near their own end zone with 26 seconds left. But nothing would happen on their drive as we go to halftime with Mountain View leading George Washington 14-6. It is 1st and 6 for Mountain View to start off the second half of this Final Four matchup. On first down, a pitch goes to Kendall Finley for a first down, and then a direct snap to Finley, who hits Violet Hidalgo for 5 yards. On 2nd and 14, a quick pass goes to Mia Artis for 5 yards, and then Mason Premer scrambles for a nice gain, but an illegal block makes it 3rd and 19. On 3rd and very long, Jessica Hopkins is wide open down the sideline as Mason Premer steps up and throws a rocket to her in stride as she goes a long way to make it 1st and 13 in the red zone. On 1st and 13, Mountain View wastes no time here as Gwen Marks takes the handoff in for the touchdown. The extra point is good, so Mountain View now has a 21-6 lead with 9:19 left in the third quarter. George Washington would end up punting it here on their next drive. They went 3 and out as Kendall Finley tipped a pass and Meg Hidalgo got a drive-ending sack. It is 1st and 14 here for Mountain View with 7:24 left after the punt. But they would end up turning it over on downs rather quickly as Olivia Chomniak tracked down Mason Premer on a scramble to end that drive. It is 1st and 16 now for George Washington after the turnover on downs. A pass over the middle goes to Brooke Hunter for 2 yards, and then Cadence Thomas rolls out left and hits Madison Honeycutt for 11 yards to make it 3rd and 3. On 3rd and short, a direct snap to Madison Honeycutt gets them the first down to make it 1st and 20 on midfield. A run goes for 4 yards, and then Meg Hidalgo jumps up and swats down a pass on the rush to make it 3rd and 16. Following a false start, it is 4th and 21 now as Cadence Thomas rips one deep, and it is tipped, bobbled, and somehow picked off by Reese Peterson. I have no idea how she was able to make that grab there, as that pass was heavily contested there. But it will be 1st and 15 here for Mountain View after that interception. Mason Premer took a run across midfield and then a direct snap to Kendall Finley, who pitches it back to Mason Premer, but she slips there to make it 2nd and 19. An incomplete pass is nearly picked off by Cadence Thomas to make it 3rd and 19. And that would take us to the end of the third quarter, folks. Mountain View leads George Washington 21-6. Following a couple of missed plays on my part, it is 1st and 10 here for Mountain View in George Washington territory. On first down, Mason Premer scrambles, and she weaves her way into the end zone for a circus touchdown. The extra point is good, so that makes it 28-6 with 11:13 left in the game here. It is 1st and 6 here for George Washington after that score. A quick pass goes to Olivia Chomniak for 3 yards, and then great coverage from Ellie Harper, but it is called pass interference on the next snap, so it'll be 1st and 12 here for George Washington. Gwen Marks tracks down Cadence Thomas on a scramble to make it 2nd and 8. And then after an incomplete pass, it is 3rd and 8 here. Caitlin Little got a sack to make it 4th and 13, so George Washington has to go deep here. On 4th down, the deep pass is picked off by Kendall Finley. It is 1st and 2 near midfield for Mountain View with under 9 minutes left here in the game. Following a missed play, it is 1st and 17 across midfield. Mountain View calls timeout following the incomplete pass here with 7:59 left here in the game. And coming out of the timeout, Mountain View launches one deep, and Cadence Thomas and Mia Artis are fighting over the jump ball, but it is called a catch for Artis somehow. This one was reminiscent of the Fail Mary between the Packers and Seahawks over 10 years ago, because it looked like Thomas had the possession there, but an illegal block negates that amazing play to make it 2nd and 23. Then after a couple of incomplete passes, it will be a turnover on downs, so it will be 1st and 5 for George Washington with just over 6 minutes left here in the game. Following a couple of incomplete passes, it is 3rd and 5 as Cadence Thomas avoids the sack and throws it with perfect timing to Stya Savage for a 1st down across midfield. On 1st and 9, Cadence Thomas, under heavy pressure, finds Madison Honeycutt, who takes it near the end zone. It will be 1st and 3 here in the red zone. On 1st down, Cadence Thomas hits Stya Savage on an out route for the touchdown. It is 28-12 here as they go for 2, but Reese Patterson swats down the pass to make it 28-12 with 3:56 left here in the game, and that will be our final score in this one, as Mountain View is going to move on to face TCA in the 4A state championship for a battle between the north and south sides of Colorado. The playmaker of the game for Mountain View is going to be Mia Artis for her work on both sides of the ball. She was the go-to weapon on offense in this win. For George Washington, I just want to thank the seniors for an amazing first season of sanctioned flag football. You are all pioneers of the sport, and you should be extremely proud of what you've accomplished this season. George Washington has been one of the most surprising teams this year, with us not really knowing anything about them going into playoffs since they didn't put stats in until the end of the season. This will be a great team for years to come, and once again, thank you so much to the seniors for making your mark in this sport.
Now, before we move on, Gideon was able to get interviews with 2 people from Mountain View. Number 1, which I'm going to play first, is the player, one of their players, Reese Peterson from Mountain View. She's a senior for them. He gets to talk with her real quick. And then right after that, he gets to interview Tim Tess, the head coach of Mountain View, as they head into state.
Gideon Gino here with Reese Peterson from Mountain View High School. Well, technically Resurrection Christian. You just got back from a mission trip to Jamaica at 2 a.m. You come out here, you get, in my opinion, the pick of the year there. What was going through your mind when you were able to just snatch that out of the offensive player's hands?
Honestly, I wasn't really thinking. I just played. My instincts from tackle took over, and I knew that it was on my leg and that she was not catching that ball. So... yeah.
Fair enough. And, I mean, talking about your instincts from tackle, you're one of the few players on this Mountain View team that before this year had experience in any kind of organized football. And so when we're looking at that, what lessons have you taken as a whole from tackle and doing stuff with the Blaze to competing on this stage?
I've learned that you have to work really hard. Even if it doesn't seem like it, you still have to put all the effort in, and you have to give 100% to each play. And it usually results in a good outcome for you because not everyone puts 100% in all the time. And you have to bring intensity no matter what you're doing. You have to be intense about it, and yeah.
All right. And what would you say is I feel weird using this word, but what is the vibe on the Mountain Lions team about this championship heading into it against TCA?
We are very confident. We prepared for this since August. We put in summertime work. This has been our goal the whole time. So we are hungry for it, and we are going to go get it.
All right, so when we look at that win over George Washington, there were a couple of big, decisive plays both way. And it felt like at the end the momentum was firmly in Mountain View's corner, but TCA just came out again in a slugfest against Green Mountain. How do you feel against that matchup since the playoffs started, a lot of people were saying it's you and them. So How do you feel?
It's not very often that the matchup that people think is going to happen actually happens. So hats off to Green Mountain. I know they give them everything, and they made it to the end of the season and kept fighting, and they're a solid team. TCA just finds a way to get it done, man. Only losing to two teams, Valor, who we also lost to, of course. They actually took them to overtime where we couldn't get even that. And then to my boy Doherty, shout out to my coach Rodney Pearson down in Doherty for taking care of that game. So anyway, I think it's incredible. Like you said, it's a matchup that I think everybody's been looking forward to and thinking, kind of the best of the North versus the best of the South. I'm grateful to be there. I would have loved to have played either team. We don't know a ton about TCA other than what we see on the stat sheet and what we hear about from you guys, but I did get to meet their coach last week, and seems like an incredible guy, and he's got his girls playing really, really solid football. And so for us, A, we're happy to be there, but B, we're not going to be satisfied just getting there. So we need to make sure that we do what we, I was going to say do what we can do, but unfortunately the last few weeks, this game, the two last week, and that Valor game, we know we didn't play our best brand of Mountain Lions football. Even the start of this game, let them hang around a little bit. It felt nice to get the lead for the first time in 4 games and play with the lead. Props to them for coming back. But I think once we got that third touchdown, that's when we could really breathe and start playing. We need to clean up a ton of mistakes. We play aggressive, and it's a double-edged sword, and we love that, and I don't think we'll ever tell our girls to pull back. But we have to be smarter. I always tell my kids of all ages, I need patient aggression. We got to be smart about it. We got to know when to be aggressive and how to be in control of ourselves. Because definitely, I don't want to take anything away from George Washington, but we pretty much gave them that touchdown by penalty after penalty after penalty. We had them out the field 2 or 3 times on that drive. So I know that that's not going to fly against TCA. So luckily, we have incredible leaders on this team, and Kendall Finley and Mason Premer, that are going to get the girls ready to go. We know that mistakes are the biggest teacher, and hopefully we learn from them quickly and we come really, really ready for TCA.
Hell yeah. And I guess he answered most of the rest of my questions there.
Sorry. I ramble on too much. I love this team. I love these girls. I'm so proud of them.
What is going on, y'all? This is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I am back here to give you all the recap of the Final Four matchup between Arvada West and Valor Christian. Both of these teams have already faced twice so far this season, with Arvada West getting the best of Valor by 3 scores at least in both of those matchups. This isn't the best matchup for Valor, obviously, but it will be interesting to see how they respond here. The winner of this game will face the winner of Mountain Vista and Legend in the first ever sanctioned 5A Girls Flag Football State Championship. There's a ton on the line with both of these senior heavy squads, so let's not waste any more time and jump right into this recap. Valor is going to start off with the ball here. It is 1st and 6. They run their usual hook and ladder on first down, and that gets them the first down to make it 1st and 20. After a short pass for 5 yards, a pitch goes to Savannah Kahn for 7 yards. On 3rd and 8, Faith Prinzo looks for Alexis Wood down the sideline, but Alex Antle gets the drive-ending sack, so Valor Christian will punt it here. It is 1st and 6 for Arvada West following the touchback on the punt. And Arvada West will waste absolutely no time here as Sailor Swanson launches a deep ball to Santana Pena on the first play of the drive, and she goes all the way for the touchdown. Molly Shellpepper got the extra point, so Arvada West now has an early 7-0 lead here with 9:25 left in the first quarter. It is 1st and 6 here for Valor following that touchdown. A sweep to Alexis Wood gets them the first down, and then following a missed play, it is 2nd and 15. A pass to a diving Alexis Wood on a curl route makes it 3rd and 10, and then on 3rd down, Faith Prinzo finds Savannah Prinzo near the first down to make it 4th and 2. Valor's going for it here as Faith Prinzo takes the snap, and she just sneaks it up the middle to make it 1st and 19 across midfield. After an incomplete pass, Prinzo fakes the handoff and hits Savannah Kahn to make it 3rd and 14. Prinzo nearly gets sacked, and her pass is incomplete, but a hold on A West makes it 3rd and 4 here. A direct snap to Savannah Kahn is stopped by Lindley McReynolds to make it 4th and 3. On 4th down, a double reverse pass to Prinzo as she launches one deep, but Sarah Walker comes out of nowhere to pick it off. It is 1st and 6 for Arvada West with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. And once again, on the first play of the drive, Sailor Swanson delivers a pass on a slant over the middle to Santana Pena, and after several missed flag pulls, she goes all the way for her second touchdown of the first quarter. It is 13-0 with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left after the failed extra point. Pena is up to over 130 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns on just 2 receptions after the first 2 drives of the game. That is absolutely amazing. It will be 1st and 6 for Valor after that score. But Valor would actually end up going 3 and out here. They would punt it down 13-0. Sarah Walker takes the punt to the Valor 33-yard line, giving them phenomenal field position. Sailor Swanson finds Sarah Walker for a first down in the red zone to make it 1st and 19. And then a slant to Santana Pena goes for 9 yards, and they follow that up with Molly Shellpepper, who makes a crazy one-handed grab to make it 3rd and 3. On 3rd and short, Sailor Swanson lobs one up to Alyssa Alberts, who makes the grab for the touchdown, and Sarah Walker got the extra point. So Arvada West is absolutely rolling here. They come out to a 20-0 lead with just 47 seconds left in the first quarter. It is 1st and 6 here for Valor, down 3 scores. An incomplete pass with pressure from Lindley McReynolds makes it 2nd and 6, and then a pass up the seam to Savannah Kahn is just out of reach. So that will take us to the end of the first quarter, where Arvada West leads Valor Christian 20-0. Coming out of the start of the first quarter, a pass over the middle is incomplete, so that will be 4th and 6, and Valor Christian will have to punt once again here. It is 1st and 5 for Arvada West following the punt. On 1st down, Sailor Swanson finds a receiver for a first down across midfield, and then following a couple of incomplete passes and a missed play, it will be 1st and 5 near the red zone here for Arvada West. On 1st and 5, a slant goes to Santana Pena, who pitches it back to Sailor Swanson as she runs by, and Swanson goes untouched into the end zone for the touchdown, and the extra point is good as Arvada West takes a 27-0 lead there. That was an awesome play call from the Arvada West offense. And that would end this recap, folks, and the final score will be 46-12 as Arvada West will be moving on to face Mountain Vista in the 5A State Championship, a rematch of the Week 0 game from this year where Mountain Vista handed A West their first regular season loss in program history. Now for Valor Christian, that is obviously not the way you want to end such a phenomenal season. The Eagles have only 3 total losses on the season, and all 3 of them were blowouts to Arvada West. To have such a successful season, and then for it all to come down to an elimination game against the one team that they match up terribly against, is just so tough for Valor. They really blew me away this season, and they have a lot to be proud of with how much they have to build on for next year. I also want to thank the Valor Christian seniors for everything they've done for this sport as pioneers of the first ever sanctioned flag football season in Colorado history. Their names are forever etched in history after this season, and that's pretty dang cool if you ask me. With that all being said, folks, this is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and I will catch you all later on in the episode where I will be discussing some of my favorite memories from this season. Peace out.
All right, now let's go ahead and talk about Mountain Vista versus Legend, this semifinal game where the winner will get to go to state here. This would be an intense matchup here and potentially the start of a budding rivalry between these two teams. Now, going into this game, Legend with a nice win over Heritage 47-0 before winning an absolute thriller versus Cherry Creek 40-35 on a last-second touchdown to send them to the semis. Legend getting hot at just the right time, and with a quarterback and junior Maddie Smolin ready to duel a fellow junior on the other side over there, as well as a great defense and just a lot of great athletes over there for Legend. This team has really came on strong these last couple weeks here, and right at the right time if you're them. So there you go. Now for Mountain Vista going into this game, they have cruised through their 2 playoff games here, beating Regis Jesuit 56-7 and then dropping 55 on Thunder Ridge here. Highlands Ranch rival Thunder Ridge 55-20. Going into this game, obviously you have the junior star quarterback Ariana Akey going to duel Maddie Smolin and that great defense. And then you have some other great players like Braylon Looney as well, looking to make some plays on both sides of the ball and more over there. On top of that, you got to remember, in the very first game that they played this season, in the regular season, it would end in a Hail Mary touchdown in the final seconds for them to win the game. Akey throwing it deep there to I can't remember which receiver, but to one of her senior receivers to go ahead and win that game. So going into this one, definitely expecting it to be a great game here. And so let's go ahead and hop into the first quarter. Mountain Vista starts with the ball, and on first down, Akey decides to scramble left. She gets the first. Following that, first down here, Akey reverses fields here and then ends up throwing the hitch to number 1, senior Riley Rivera. That will give them a first down past midfield. On first down here, it's about 1st and 12 here. They throw it, it's incomplete. On second down, Legend, number 21, Victoria Curdy, gets a big time sack to make it 3rd and 20 here. On third down here, Akey throws the post to Riley Rivera, but it will be just a little bit short. 4th and 1. Obviously, they're going to go for it since they're past midfield. And on 4th down, Akey throws to number 15, Isabella Valent, another senior wide receiver for them, who gives them a 1st and 14 in the red zone now. 1st and 14, it's another quick pass to Valent. It's now 2nd and 5. After a drop, it's now 3rd down here, and Akey rolls out right and throws a dot to Rivera to put them up. I believe it is Riley Rivera on this one to put them up 6-0. On the PAT, it's knocked away by Legend, and so Legend takes over with 8:30 left. Maddie Smolin, the junior here at quarterback, she throws the drag to a senior receiver in Aislinn Corella. That gives them a first down, a 1st and 18 approaching midfield. On first down, Smolin rolls out and throws to Ashley Holger here to make it 2nd and 13. Then there's a delay of games. Now it's 2nd and 18 here. On 2nd and 18, Smolin gets snapped, and she throws a deep corner out to the senior wide receiver, Ava Gavi, and she brings it in as it's on the money. 1st and 15, a great throw here by Smolin. On first down, Smolin throws a drag back to Gavi. She gets about 8 on this one. 2nd down here, it's a drop. That brings up 3rd down, and on 3rd, Smolin scrambles left, and she gets the first down to put Legend in the red zone, a chance to tie it and maybe take the lead. On first down, she then checks it down to Aislinn Corella, who makes it 3rd and 14. It's either Aislinn or Aislinn, excuse me if I'm saying that wrong, by the way. On 3rd and 14, Smolin rolls out right, and she throws a dot, but it is not able to be brought in here. So it's now 4th down, and on 4th, Smolin, it's 4th and 14, so 4th and long. Smolin kind of buys time and decides to run it instead of throwing one into the end zone, and that's just kind of a tough mistake to make there. This Vista pass rush getting there and forcing that mistake, so that's a pretty easy turnover on downs as they're able to corral her. So Vista takes over. 3:14 left. Aki scrambles right. She makes it 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, Aki rolls left, throws across her body to Riley Rivera. She makes it a 1st and 12. On 1st down here, Aki then throws quickly to Valent in the slot. She then goes ahead and gets another 1st down in a row to make it 1st and 2 now in the red zone. Kind of a big play here as there are some missed flag pulls on that one there. So 1st and 2 in the red zone, looking to score. Aki gets snapped and she runs it in to make it 12-0 with 150 left in the first quarter. On the PAT, Aki goes ahead and runs it in again to make it 13-0. Mountain Vista off to a fast start on offense as they have not missed a beat at all. And so Legend takes over with 150 left. They got to respond here. On 1st down, the pressure gets there, so it's incomplete. On 2nd down, Smolin checks it down here to Corella, who goes ahead and turns it upfield, but there's a penalty thrown against Vista for holding, so Legend gets a 1st and 6 as they approach midfield. On 1st and 6 here, it is number 23. They're looking to pass it. Maylee Wilhelm, who finds a soft spot in the zone, and Smolin delivers it for a nice throw over the middle to make it 1st and 16 past midfield. On 1st down, Smolin throws the out route left to Corella. She gets maybe 1, and that would end the first quarter here. A fast start on offense as both teams have made it to the red zone here on all their drives so far. Now, to start the second, Legend 2nd and 15 past midfield. Smolin gets the snap, throws the corner route left here, but it's slightly off the mark here. But there would be a roughing the passer penalty called on Mountain Vista. So now it's 1st and 5 past the midfield. And Smolin, under pressure, throws it. It's almost picked, but it is dropped. It's kind of a low throw. So now it's 2nd here. And it's Ariana Aki, by the way. She's playing both ways at rusher and quarterback. And Aki applies pressure this time and deflects it. That forces 3rd down here. And on 3rd, Smolin gets a snap, throws it quickly to the flats to Corella. She is stopped short of the 1st down, approaching the red zone here. So now it's 4th and inches here. And on 4th and inches, Legend, they bunch up and they basically run QB power right over the middle, and Smolin reaches over. She just barely gets the 1st down with that reach. It's now 1st and 20. As each team has now had 2 red zone trips here. And so 1st and 20, second red zone trip for Legend. Smolin scrambles left. She gets about 5. On 2nd, Smolin rolls out right, and she threads the needle to Corella, who walks into the end zone here. This was such a crazy play because there were 2 defenders there, but this ball just slips past the hands of both of those defenders right into the hands of Corella, who makes a great leaping catch and just kind of walks in after clearing both of them. And so Legend gets on the board to make it 13-6 here. On the PAT, Smolin looking to pass. She ends up scrambling, cuts it up, reaches over, but is called short here. And so Vista, I mean, they already would have still had the lead, but they still have the 7-point lead here. And so Vista takes over with 8:41 left. Remember, they've scored on every drive so far. Aki on 1st down, scrambles left, gets a 1st. It's now 1st and 15. On 1st down here, 1st and 15 now, Aki rolls out, and she is sacked by number 21, Victoria Curdy, the sophomore from Legend here. So now that brings up 2nd down. And on 2nd, Aki rolls left, and she ends up finding number 15, Valent, on the dot to give them a 1st down past midfield. So 1st and 16. On 1st down, Aki runs left. She makes it 2nd and 9. On 2nd, she checks it down to Braylon Looney, the junior utility player, by the way. She gets about 2 there, so 3rd and 7. And then on 3rd down here, Aki throws the out left, and it's rifled in there to Valent, who brings in this heater of a pass and toe taps this one inside or inbounds here, which is just a great play as this was a very tight window here. But her flag was pulled before she made the catch, and in flag football, that is PI here. That will be declined though, and so it's 1st and 15 in the red zone. On first down, it's thrown on the check down, but it's dropped. On second down, Aki scrambles for a short gain. So that brings up third. And then Mountain Vista calls a timeout at 5:22 left. Out of the timeout, third down, Aki gets a snap. She throws it over the middle, but it is dropped once again. This time by Braylon Looney. Well, both times, sorry, by Braylon Looney. That brings up fourth down, and Aki buys time, and she goes back to Looney. But once more, an uncharacteristic third drop here would force a turnover on downs, and Mountain Vista, for the first time, not being able to get a score on a drive, which is absolutely big time for them. For Legend, really. And so, turnover on downs, Legend with the 1st and 5, 4:52 left here. Smolin at quarterback checks it down to number 33, Reese Agnew. That gives them a first down. Following that, she checks it down to Corella. That goes for 3. On second down, Smolin gets a snap, and she goes deep to number 1 here, who's wide open after buying some time. That's Corella, but this one is dropped. She would have walked in for a touchdown here. And this was also a great job by Smolin to buy some time. But unfortunately, now that brings up 3rd and 17 here. And Smolin rolls out left, and she throws it as it's an all-hands catch by Maylee Wilhelm to make it a big first down here. Great throw and a great catch by Wilhelm, who caught the game winner last week, by the way, to give them a 1st and 11 past midfield. On first down, Smolin pitches it right here, and that goes for a little scramble here. But a penalty is thrown against Vista for illegal contact, so now that's 1st and 20 in the red zone. On 1st and 20 here, they run the option. It's pitched out right, this time to Reese Agnew. She gets about 9. They then call a timeout at 1:31 left here, and here is what happens. After the timeout, third down, they have a receiver in motion. They snap it, but her hip catches the snap here just a little bit off timing, and so that would end up forcing a dead ball as the ball would hit the ground, falling away from the hands of Smolin. So now it goes from 2nd and 11 to 3rd and 21 with 1:06 left here. On third down, Smolin tries to throw the corner route here, but it's well covered, so it's incomplete. That brings up 4th here. Legend calls a timeout, and then here's what happens. They go ahead and run a double pass here, thrown to Reese Agnew, who makes a physical catch here, but they call, and she's short, but they call illegal contact on Mountain Vista, so that'll give them one more chance here. 4th down and 1 here. Vista, they go ahead and call a timeout with 47.5 seconds left in this game to talk about defense here. And then out of the timeout, 4th and 1 for Legend as they have their second chance here. They line up what looks to be QB power all bunched up, and Smolin gets a snap. She runs up, and instead of running it, she throws a jump pass, a Tim Tebow-esque Florida pass here to number 32, Ava Gavi, to make it 13-12 here. What an excellent play call by Legend, and an iconic pass here to make the most out of this red zone trip. On the PAT, a chance to tie this game. They go ahead and direct snap it to Aislinn Corella, who throws it over the middle to a wide open wide receiver, and that will tie this game at 13-13 in the second quarter. A great play here to tie it on both the touchdown and the PAT, but an illegal contact penalty on 4th down would set this touchdown up. And so here we go, Vista with 44 seconds left, potentially looking to go ahead and score here. Here's what happens. Aki rolls out right, and she throws it, but it's picked off by Ava Gavi. And so now Legend has the ball with 37.1 seconds left. 1st and 9 past the midfield. Just a great play by Ava Gavi to go ahead and jump this route here. And so here we go, Smolin in at quarterback, throws to number 81, the sophomore Noelle Ho, who makes it a first down in the red zone. 1st and 20. On 1st and 20, Smolin checks it down to Ashley Holberg, who goes ahead and goes untouched here for a big gain. So now it's 2nd and 3 on the gain of 17. 7 seconds left here. Here's what happens. Smolin throws the out route to number 1. That would be Corella. But that one is broken up here. So now it's third down. Clock is stopped here. Here's what happens. They go ahead and call a double pass, and it's number 32 here who throws it, Ava Gavi, and she throws it, and it's tipped up, and it's caught by number 33, Reese Agnew, who is right behind the two defenders who tipped it up. And so now Legend takes the 19-13 lead here. PET is thrown, it's on the money, but it is dropped, so that's unfortunate. But Legend goes into half with the 19-13 lead. And in classic Colorado playoff football fashion, Vista went from having a 13-7 lead here with 13-6 lead here with 4:52 left in this second to now trailing 19-13 going into the third. And to make things worse, Legend starts with the ball here to start the half. So here we go. Legend potentially looking to go up 2 scores. Here's what happens. Smolin rolls out left and she throws it to Corella, who brings it in. That's now a 1st and 14. On first down, the throw is incomplete, so that brings up second down here. They run a double pass, and it is almost picked here, so that brings up third. On third, Smolin throws it, but this one is dropped. Another tough drop, and so that ends this drive as Legend has to punt it. Vista with a chance to tie this thing up, so here's what happens. 9:30 left, 1st and 18. Aki scrambles left. She gets about 7 there. On second, Aki rolls out right, finds Riley Rivera, who makes an all-hands catch, a nice throw and catch here to make it 1st and 17 past midfield. On first down, the throw is dropped. On second down, this pass is a little overthrown here as the pressure from Legend almost gets there, so now it's third. On third, Aki throws a corner out here to number 1. That would be Riley Rivera here, who gets a big first down in the red zone. A great throw and a good catch once more to make it 1st and 20. On 1st and 20, it's a delayed handoff, a little bit of a draw play, it looks like here, or a draw concept here, and it's Riley Rivera who gets about 5. On second, Aki rolls left and throws a dot to number 12, the senior Serena Reeder. Her first reception, I believe, of the game here. Anyways, that brings up third down here, and on third, Aki rolls out right, and she throws it to an open Isabel Valent for a big-time touchdown to tie this game at 19-19. PAT would not be good. And so Legend, they take over with 6:23 left. The game's tied. Smolin throws the drag route, this time to number 33. That's Reese Agnew. She makes it 2nd and 4. On second down here, Smolin checks it down to Corella. She gets the first down off of this play here. It's now 1st and 20. On first down, Smolin checks it down, this time to Ashley Holberg, another senior, who gets about 5. On second, Smolin rolls out, and she throws it deep, but it's just off the mark here. This would have been a touchdown if this was completed, but a dangerous pass here as there's some miscommunication in the Mountain Vista secondary. On third down, Legend runs a hook and ladder. That goes for about 10, making it 4th and 5, and they decide to punt it here, playing the field positioning game. And so Vista takes over with 3:20 left, 1st and 1, a chance to retake the lead. So here is what happens. Aki rolls out right for a first down here, 1st and 13. On first down, Aki then throws deep, and it's caught and toe tapped in by number 3 here, Liana Rivera, for a big first down past midfield. 1st and 6, just such a great catch near the sideline. On first down, Aki runs left. She gets maybe only 1 good coverage there. On second, she throws the quick hitch here to Riley Rivera. She is able to get the first down and some. It's 1st and 13 in the red zone. On first down, Aki rolls left, and she throws it over the middle to the senior Serena Reeder to make it 2nd and 2. On 2nd and 2 here, Aki makes a quick throw to Braylon Looney, and she brings it in to give them back the lead. It's now 25-19 with 59.8 seconds left. On the PAT, it's knocked away by Corella of Legend. And on this play, this is a key play here. There is kind of a tough collision here. Was able to replay it, and it looks like Ariana Aki suffers kind of a tough knee injury. She goes down, and they have to help her off the field. And so, in the heat of an insane playoff matchup, this is a tough player to lose who has been playing both ways. And so Legend, they take over with 58 seconds left here. Aki on the sideline. Here's what happens. They go ahead and do a quick check down that makes it 2nd and 5. On 2nd and 5, Smolin goes ahead and finds number 22. That's the senior Ashley Holberg, who makes it 3rd and 1. And then that's when the third quarter ends. So at the top of the fourth, Legend only down by a score here. It's 3rd and 1. Here is what happens. They get a little bit cute here, call a double pass, but it is tipped up and intercepted by Mountain Vista. That is Kaylee Besh, the sophomore here, to give Mountain Vista a first down in the red zone. And to strike a little bit more fear into the hearts of Legend, Ariana Akey puts on a knee brace, and she's back in here to go ahead and lead this drive to put them up 2 scores. And here's what happens. First down, it's incomplete. On 2nd down, Akey completes an out route left here to Riley Rivera, I think. So now it's 3rd down and 7. On 3rd down, Akey completes a quick throw here to Serena Reeder, who makes a low catch here, but they do mark her knee down as she was about to get up and run for a little bit more. So that ends up being a very short gain of about 2. So now it's 4th and 5. Mountain Vista calls a timeout with 10:29 left here. And here we go, 4th and 5. Akey gets a snap. She's buying some time. She rolls out left, and she throws a dot here, a very tough throw into the hands of her receiver, but there's a lot of contact there as there's a hit, and so that's going to be a penalty. So now that gives them another chance after the PI, 4th and 2 there. So Mountain Vista with another chance to go up 2 scores, and here is what happens. Akey gets a snap, and this time she throws it to Isabel Valent, and she brings in the tough pass to make it 31-19 at 10:14 left. PAT's incomplete, so it stays right there. Legend still has 10:14 left, so they need a score here, and then they got to get a stop and potentially set up another score. So not out of it yet. Here's what happens. First down, they call hook and ladder. That ends up in the hands of their senior receiver, Ava Gavi. That gives them a big first down, 1st and 14. Then they attempt another double pass, which is knocked away. So now it's 2nd on 2nd. Smolin under pressure throws it here, but there's a roughing the passer penalty. So now it's 1st and 4 as they approach midfield here. So this drive extends here, and on 1st and 4, Smolin gets a snap, and she throws it over the middle to Corella, who makes a tough catch, who makes it now 1st and 12 past midfield. On 1st down here, Smolin gets a snap, and she checks it down, but then Braylon Looney absolutely comes in, and she gets the incompletion. She breaks up the pass, but she does deck this poor player here. And so a penalty's thrown, and then some words are exchanged here between Smolin and Looney here. And so personal foul penalties and flags are thrown on both of them as things are getting heated in the semifinal playoff game for a chance at state. And so once all the dust is clear, it now brings up 1st and 2 for Legend here. And so definitely an interesting call. It was basically a hit by Looney. But she was trying to go for the ball, maybe, I think, but just a very physical play. And so definitely maybe a little bit lucky that it wasn't a little bit more thrown there. And so here we go, 1st and 2. Here's what happens. They go ahead and they check it down to Gavi, and she gives them a first down in the red zone, so 1st and 20. On 1st and 20, Smolin then scrambles left here. She goes about 7. On 2nd and 13, Smolin checks it down here to Ava Gavi, but Looney gets her flag here. They do call a little bit of a questionable holding call here. I thought it was just a pull, but I guess she got her arm around her hip there instead of the flag. So now it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down here, Smolin, pressure almost gets there. She has to throw this away. That brings up 3rd here. On 3rd down, Smolin gets a snap, but this time the pass is deflected by the pressure. That's Ariana Akey right there. But there's another penalty thrown against Mountain Vista, so that will be half the distance. Replay 3rd down. On 3rd down, Smolin with the QB power. She goes up the middle, reaches over, but she's just short. It's now 4th and 1. 4th and 1. This is a big play for Mountain Vista here, as they cannot allow Legend back into it, and obviously a big one for Legend. Here we go. They line up for another QB power. Smolin gets a snap, but they attempt the jump pass again. It's open, but it is just a little bit too low of a pass, as the receiver is not able to corral it and bring it in. So that's a turnover on downs. 5:31 left. Mountain Vista, they get one more touchdown or a couple first downs, they could end this one. So 1st and 19, Aki goes ahead and throws it, finds a Valen, and she almost scores here, but is stopped a little bit short. So now it's 1st and 2. In the red zone, by the way. So this is a big play, as Valen just gets free on this play, and like I said, almost scores on a long touchdown. So instead, in the red zone here, here's what happens. Aki runs it, but she stopped short at 2nd and 1. On 2nd down, Aki rolls left and throws it. It's knocked away there. On 3rd down, Aki gets a snap, and this time she decides to run it in here, and she makes it 37-19. That will be the dagger in this one, as final score that was scored with 3:17 left. So Legend would get the ball, but they would not be able to get anything going there. And so final score of this playoff game, Mountain Vista will move on to state and win 37-19 over Legend, where they will play Arvada West in the state championship game. Now let's talk about these two squads here. Let's start with Legend. They had their chance. They just had some tough plays go the wrong direction for them. At the start of the 4th, that interception to give them a red zone look that early, and then they went up by 2 scores. That's devastating. And now, looking at it again, maybe there was a little bit of a hold, some PI on Mountain Vista, but I don't think you're going to call that. In general, I probably wouldn't have called that double pass, because it was tipped and intercepted. And so that ended up being the game changer in this one. But even then, they had a chance here to, cut into this lead. They would get the ball after that and would drive down, and man, it just sucks, because this pass was definitely there on that jump pass on 4th down. It was just a little bit too low. It did hit the receiver's hands, but you just couldn't bring it in. So that's just tough for Legend. And I mean, if they got that touchdown, who knows? Maybe they get a stop, and then maybe they get a chance at another score. But, they just came up short. And, this Legend team, they really fought. They were leading 19-13 after half, and they would end up losing 37-19, which is insane to think about. Mountain Vista scoring that many points here. But, it was just some mistakes on offense and some plays where they just couldn't quite capitalize that got them. And that's tough, because this team played Mountain Vista extremely close. They made them work for this one, and they scrapped here. And so a lot of credit to Legend, whose defense came to play, made some big plays. The offense made some big plays, but just a little bit too many mistakes here on both sides of the ball. Specifically, I would say maybe the offensive side here, as there were some open touchdown passes that were dropped, like deep ones, short ones, all of those, and you just can't have that in a semifinal playoff game. You got to make those catches. So there you go there. Now, just looking into the future for this Legend team, they graduate a lot of senior wide receivers, built very similarly actually to Mountain Vista with the number of senior wide receivers they have, but they'll be losing the likes of Reese Agnew, Ava Gavi, Maylee Wilhelm, Ashley Holberg, just to name a few on the offensive side of the ball there. And then on the defensive side, they lose Jocelyn Huntsman, their great linebacker for them over there. They also lose Aislinn Corella as well, who made some big plays in this game. So a lot of seniors graduating, which is just tough. It's not going to be easy to replace that experience here. A lot of these players have been in this program for 2 years now, which is big time. But next year's definitely bright, because they bring back Maddie Smolin, who I felt like played an excellent game in this one. I thought she played a good enough game to give Legend their best chance to win it. They were just a little bit short. They're just a little bit short in this one, and that one definitely stings. But she's a great athlete. Looking at this offense, too, as well, gotta give some credit to the coaching staff. At the beginning of the season, on this same field, this offense did not look good. And then fast forward all the way to the playoffs, got to learn a little bit more, settle in. This offense was very good. and was able to hang with a lot of the best teams and score on a lot of the best defenses in the state, including over Cherry Creek, in an absolute memorable thriller right there. And so you got to give that coaching staff a lot of credit over there, and this offense a lot of credit. And so going into this next year, year 2 as a starter for Maddie Smolin, it's going to get interesting, as I think she's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire state. Uber athletic, and she could do it all. Just some things that most quarterbacks can't do, and that is definitely valuable. Now, they also bring back some other players like Noelle Ho. She's just a sophomore. She's a wide receiver. She's probably going to get a bigger role in this offense with so many receivers graduating. They bring back Victoria Curdy, a sophomore rusher who I thought had a very good, second half of the season, very underrated there. They bring back a great athlete in Ryan Matouche as well, just a sophomore too. Zoe Matherly as well, Addison Law, who's just a freshman who made some plays and I think will get a bigger, role in this offense and defense potentially next year. So they got some athletes to bring back, plus it's just legend. I mean, the talent pool over there is absolutely insane. A lot of great players to work with, and so going into next year, I think their future is definitely bright, and I think it's fair to say that they should be in contention status because of the core that they bring back. So gotta love that for Legend. They had a very entertaining last month of the season here, but unfortunately it comes to an end here in these playoffs in the semis. Now for Mountain Vista, I'm not going to lie, it did not look great when they were down 19-13 and Legend was getting the ball to start the third. But to their credit, they stormed back here. And, I got to shout out the senior wide receiver crew for this team in Riley Rivera, Liana Rivera, Serena Reeder, Isabel Valent, just to name a few players there. They made some big plays throughout this game here, so got to give them a ton of credit here. They all answered the call when it was their time. But you also got to look at the junior quarterback, Ariana Akey. She hurt her knee, and just looking at the replay of that game, her knee definitely got twisted around there, and it just did not look good. And she came back, with the knee brace and whatnot. And even on the last play, she wasn't the one who took a knee. I believe it was Reeder who took the knee there. So that's, maybe something to keep an eye on, as they will be going to state playing just a couple hours later after this game. But for her to come back and score what would end up being the dagger, because that would put them up 2 scores, was absolutely big time. Because you went from just like the mood in Mountain Vista, even though they went up a score, dropping there, to it skyrocketing as she got back in there, and as this Mountain Vista crowd got into it as well. And that led to just some unbelievable momentum that would carry them to the end there. And so a big shout out to Ariana Akey, who even before the injury, she was balling out on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, making plays. She was making it happen for them over there, and then the rest of this team just followed her lead as well. Wasn't the best defensive performance, but they figured it out in the second half, and that definitely matters. That definitely matters for Mountain Vista. And so now they will go to state and play Arvada West. Final of this semifinal here, Legend falls to Mountain Vista 37-19.
1-2. 17-1 versus 16-2. We got stout defense versus electric offense. We got playmakers on both sides. We have huge, monumental wins leading up to this point. We got close contests. We got blowouts to show for it. And we have the 2 best teams in 4A Colorado flag football squaring off in the championship. You already know that I have to be talking about the Mountain View Lions versus the TCA Titans here, kicking off for the championship game. It's going to be a monumental matchup and one to remember for the ages here. But let's go ahead and jump into the action here with Mountain View to start with the football. They come in 2 in tight in a balanced formation. They motion left to right and hand off to number 22, Gwen Marks here, who gets a first down to the 20-yard line exactly. They follow that up with a premier shot left, but it is just out of reach before a direct snap to Finley leads to a swing pass back to Premer, but the flag is pulled for a loss by who else other than number 32 of TCA, Reagan Harder here. And after a deep shot left is incomplete, they will have to punt. And a very poor punt actually gives the Titans the ball in a great spot here on the 27-yard line heading in. They start off this drive with a handoff to Lillian Groth here, who gets to the 21-yard line here and sets up 2nd and 1. TCA comes out in a balanced formation and runs a speed left that is pulled by Marks, but not until after the first down. Now the Titans knocking on the door in the red zone early here in the game. They're going to roll left and pass right, but that is going to be pulled really fast. And following an incompletion, they are now staring down 3rd and 18 here. And Mountain View smells the blood in the water and sends 2 rushers, forcing an incompletion. And now it is 4th and 18. They will go for it here, and they do pass down the left seam, and it is open, but it gets a little overthrown here. And Mountain View survives this very first TCA attack and sets up with 1st and 3 here to the 20-yard line. There's going to be a very quick pass to Violet Hidalgo here, who gets a first down to the 24-yard line. Following that, it is a contested catch down the right sideline. Number 23, Jessica Hopkins here, J-Hop, as we're going to start referring to her, as she comes back to the football here and gets a big gain all the way to the Titan 39-yard line before the flagpole. On 1st and 19, they're coming right back to J-Hop, who comes back to the football and runs ahead to the 26-yard line for a 13-yard gain. On 2nd down and 6 here, Mountain View lines up trips right, and they keep back 2 blockers, giving Premer the ability to roll out right and gain a first down to the 14-yard line. A great boundary pass to J-Hop gets out of bounds at the 8-yard line before Mountain View is going to call a direct snap to Finley, who laterals back to Premer, who hot potatoes it right back to Finley, and now Mountain View only has 3 yards to go until the promised land on 3rd down. On 3rd down, they're going to roll out right, but it's going to go nowhere, and they're going to take a timeout here with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first quarter to game plan for 4th and 3. Let's see if the chess match works out here as they line up, and they come right back to the rollout here, and they're going to go ahead and get it back, and Premer lets it fly to Finley here for the touchdown. The PAT is just short, but that is still a 6-0 lead for Mountain View with 2 minutes and 43 seconds in the first quarter here. Now the Titans have the ball, and Mountain View is going to rush 2 on 1st down, and this pressure is going to force an ill-fated pass that is intercepted by Ellie Harper of Mountain View here, and it's going to set up the lines with the ball on the 24-yard line going in with a chance to go up 2 scores before the end of the first quarter here. There's going to be a pass right that is bobbled and dropped. And on the following play, Thompson is going to get a flagpole here for TCA, but it is going to be just after the first down marker here. Now, there's going to be a pass right to J-Hop here that is pulled very quickly. And following that, a direct snap to Finley, who throws it right back to 28. That is Hidalgo for those keeping track at home here. There's going to be a direct snap left to number 27, Michaela Messias here, who wins the angle to the pylon and scores with 22.8 seconds in the first quarter. And Premer is going to sneak in for the PAT to make it 13-0 all Mountain View. A scary pass left that is almost intercepted by Reese Peterson is how we're going to survive the end of the first quarter for TCA here. And to start the second quarter, they got some tricks up their sleeve. They call a hook in ladder left. This is initially caught by Brinley Measy here and is lateraled back to Lillian Groth, who gets a first down. However, that is followed up by a flagpole for loss by Gwen Marks, and it's going to force a bit of a hole here as they pass across the grain, and it doesn't give much. TCA on 3rd down here is going to drop back to pass, trying to gain a ton of yards here, but they're not going to have any luck as Caitlin Little does not give them any time to think and comes back with a sack, forcing a TCA punt. Mountain View will get the football back with a little under 10 minutes in the half and begin their drive on their 32-yard line. An incompletion starts off the drive, but on the next play, they call trips right, jet sweep right to number 16, Maya Artis here, who who gains just a few and makes it a manageable 3rd and 4. On 3rd down and 4, they snap it to Finley, who flicks it back to Premer, who sprints right ahead for a 1st down. There's going to be a huge flagpole here by none other than Lauren Pentusa here, who helps relieve a big play opportunity here and saves it from being a lot worse for TCA. Now, Mountain View comes back out and they get a pass right that gets to the 30-yard line, but a botched pitch pushes Mountain View back to 4th and 15, and they will go for it but take a timeout with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. After the timeout, they come out and they call a play action shot wheel, but it's not quite brought in here, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. TCA goes back to old reliable hook and ladder to get started and get across midfield for a 1st down. On the following play, there's going to be a surefire flagpole here by Kendall Finley that keeps a gain to absolutely 0. On 2nd and 19, they are narrowly going to get the check down off here to number 11 for TCA, and that'll set up 3rd and 15. Our quarterback here looks left and comes back over the middle, but is not quite able to get that on target. That's Kelsey Peterson, and TCA will unfortunately have to punt. With 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the 2nd quarter here, Mountain View is going to try and drive down here and see what they can accomplish here from their own 17-yard line. J-Hop will start off this drive with a catch on the right side that gets a 1st down to the 25. Like clockwork, they hit up J-Hop again for a nice gain to the 32. A quick zip over the middle to Gwen Marks is going to result in her splitting defenders and bursting ahead to the 24-yard line in. Awesome velocity shown by Mason Premer here to get that ball into a very tight window here. On the very next play, it's going to be number 27, Michaela Messias here on the quick catch, accelerating and spinning ahead all the way to the 12-yard line, and TCA is going to take a timeout here to try and settle down and make sure that they can get a stop before the half ends. Now, out of the timeout here, Premer keeps right and dives, but is called down at the 4-yard line. They're going to call a direct snap to Kendall Finley, who runs the speed option right to Premer, who throws ahead to 23 in the end zone, but when she lets go of the football, it's going to be past the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be loss of 5 and a down here, a huge penalty that gives TCA a second life and prevents the score from Mountain View on that play. And following a false start, they're making it 3rd and 13, and they are actually going to end up in 4th down because there's going to be a pass that goes right into the dirt. And on 4th down, Premer looks over the middle, has a receiver open, but it's going to be broken up by number 42. Brooklyn Blair, the sophomore safety here, makes a massive, honestly, maybe even game-saving play to prevent Mountain View from going up 3 scores here. Now, with 46.2 seconds left, TCA gets a 6-yard completion to 33 for a 1st down. That is, once again, Ryan Ferguson on the catch here and take a timeout. But an ill-fated decision here ends up in a interception by Kendall Finley that is brought to the 36-yard line of TCA's, and they're going to follow it up very quickly with a deep shot left to Maya Artis, who reels it in and is pulled at the 13-yard line. Mountain View will hurry up to the line and spike the ball with 3.2 seconds left, but on the last play on the half, it's going to be an incompletion, and luckily TCA survives 2 very tough scares to only make it a 13-0 game at halftime. TCA gets to start the second half here, and they get a dump off to Ryan Ferguson, who gets to the 18-yard line. A pass right to Reagan Harder gets a 1st down to the 25-yard line, and TCA looks like they should be clicking on this drive, but on the very next play, a pass to Ferguson is tipped and almost intercepted. That sets up 2nd and 15, where they will call a shot deep right that is just a little overthrown and brings up 3rd down. Excellent pressure on 3rd down from Mountain View is breathing right down Peterson's neck, and so that's going to force a break up here. Number 10, Ellie Harper, actually breaks up this pass, and it's going to be a punt. Mountain View will start their drive on their own 35-yard line with 8 minutes and 48 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Premer is going to keep on the rollout right and get a 1st down past midfield. Harder, however, responds with a sack, pushing them right back to where they started on the 35-yard line, making it a very long 2nd and 2 sticks to go. Mountain View comes out and trips right, and Premer is actually going to throw left, and it's going to be bobbled and harmlessly fall to the turf, even though it could have been a lot scarier. Now, there's going to be a run play on the very next play. However, Lillian Growth is going to get a flagpole and force a very long 4th down, and very good pressure from TCA makes it where Premer cannot throw it and has to run, and Lillian Growth makes the turnover on downs flagpole. TCA will now get the ball on the 29-yard line and pass right to Brooklyn Blair, who gets to the 34-yard line. On 2nd and 6, it's going to be a check down here, but the ref blows a whistle and calls a sack, setting up an even tougher 3rd and 13 for TCA to overcome. A pass over the middle is intended for 42, but gets a little tripped up by number 7 of Mountain View and draws a pass interference for a way more manageable 3rd and 3. They decide on 3rd and 3 here with this stagnant offense to take a deep shot left to Brinley Measy here, but that is not going to be connect, and now it's 4th and 3rd, and with the game on the line, and yes, I really think that it is do or die at this point for TCA, who has not really shown enough on offense. They try and snap it, but on their rollout here, Peterson, when she goes to throw it, she actually loses control of the football here, and it is now a turnover on downs, and Mountain View is on the 36-yard line going in here, still trying to get that 3rd score that they've had a lot of great opportunities to obtain. Will they do it on this drive? Well, not on the very first play, as it is an incompletion. However, on 2nd down, they do get a completion to Maya Artis. And then on 3rd down, there's going to be a massive flagpole here. Once again, it is Reagan Harder on the flagpole that forces 4th and 7. And following a false start on Mountain View, it is now 4th and 12. And they're going to line up in trips right. And they're going to pass it to number 7, Kendall Finley here. And she barges ahead, but it's going to be stopped just shy of the 1st down by Lillian Growth. So now TCA has the ball with 3 minutes in the quarter, and they get a really nice run from Growth on the very next play to put them in 2nd and 13. On 2nd and 13, they throw a bullet left to number 44, Brinley here, who makes a catch and gets ahead to 3rd and 10. There's going to be a pass over the middle here, but a huge breakup by Gwen Marks is going to force another TCA punt. Now, on this first play of Mountain View's drive, Gwen Marks once again is going to go back-to-back on plays here with a catch and sprint ahead to the 39-yard line to conclude the 3rd quarter. Now, there's going to be a pass here to start the 3rd quarter here, and it's going to be who else other than our girl on TCA here with the same kind of intensity of a pass breakup here. Brooklyn Blair, who flies in out of nowhere to break it up, and now it is 3rd and 1 here. On 3rd and 1, Mountain View is going to dial up a shot play here, and it's going to be to the right side, and it's going to be an amazing catch by J-Hop here, adjusting to the football, and an even prettier throw by Mason Premer here to give them a 1st down all the way to the 24-yard line. They then dial up a direct snap to Kendall Finley, who gets all the way to the 11-yard line, setting up 1st and goal. It's going to be a quick flip to Hidalgo that gets to the 5-yard line, and a quick flip again to Hidalgo, who gets thrown to by Finley, and it's going to get into the end zone here. They just spam this direct snap, direct throw to the center, and it just takes care of the rest of the yards here and puts them up 9:49 left in the game, 20-0 here. TCA is borderline playing for pride here, and they check down to Ferguson, who gets to the 19-yard line. They then dial up a hook and ladder that picks up a 1st down, and this predates a big bomb to Brinley Measy here, who makes a catch and run and gets all the way inside the red zone here, seeing if we can get TCA on the board. There's going to be a check down that is dropped, but this is a must-score drive for TCA, and the pressure seems to be getting to this younger team here as they now have another drop that sets up 3rd and 18, and out of desperation, They take a shot down the seam, but Kendall Finley is waiting for it and returns it all the way to the 31-yard line of TCA's territory. Mountain View here now trying to get that final kill shot. If that was not it, they're going to find J-Hop here right to the 36-yard line. They're going to do another direct snap to Finley, who throws it to Hidalgo, who picks up a first down. But there's going to be a drop on the following play. But Premer still has plenty of great dimes laying around here and drops one once again to J-Hop to get them to the 11-yard line. Premer just on time this game, super accurate, super poised, ready to just dial it in at any single moment. And then on the very next play, it's going to be a snap to Finley, who laterals it to Premer, who runs ahead and gets inside the 10-yard line. They have another run that gets all the way to the 1-yard line, but on the next play, Finley's lateral to Premer is incomplete, and following a bad snap that's too low, they're actually going to have to turn over on downs here. TCA gets another completion here to Breenley Measy here to put them to the 27-yard line, but there's going to be another completion here that gets them to the 34. The next pass right, however, is almost intercepted by Ellie Harper here, and Peterson really has to wrangle it in here if she wants to give this team a chance to win. But that is not going to be allowed by the playmakers on the other side of the ball, as Gwen Marks intercepts the next pass and houses it. The PAT is no good. That puts up Mountain View 26-0. The very next drive has an interception by Maya Artis, and that is going to seal the championship for Mountain View here. Your first ever 4A sanctioned Colorado girls high school flag football champions are the Mountain View Lions, capping off an 18-1 season here. I want to say that they gave J-Hop the Chassa player of the game. Our playmaker of the game, however, has got to be number 7 here. Kendall Finley doing it all, catching a touchdown, getting 2 picks, and throwing a touchdown. But honestly, this Mountain View team was just so well dialed in. Like I said, Premer with just crisp timing and great accuracy on multiple throws. J-Hop creating a ton of problems for the defense, leaving no solutions. Kind of reminds me of when I coached against them. And I mean, just playmakers on all sides. Gwen Marks to put the final nail in the coffin. She was one of their biggest playmakers this year. You also had a great Mountain View pass rush. I mean, there's just so much to love about this squad. Congratulations to that coaching squad. Congrats and kudos to Tim Test. He's a great dude and somebody who I'm very glad is here pushing and promoting flag football in the state of Colorado. We're very lucky to have him and very lucky to have this group of athletes who I just want to congratulate here from top to bottom. Meg Hidalgo, Mason Premer, Kendall Finley, Ellie Harper, Reese Peterson, Maya Artis, Gwen Marks, Jessica Hopkins, Michaela Misius, Violet Hidalgo, Lily Evans, Kalia Marler, Ellie Roberts, Cume Smith, Caitlin Little, Meg Baker, Chrissy Brander, Ava Grossbull, Kiara Knowles, Kylie Blanton, and Jordan Harkins. This is everyone listed on the roster here for Mountain View, so I just wanted to give them all a shout out here and congratulate them on an 18-1 season that ends with a Mountain View championship here. Kudos to the TCA Titans. They battled in this tournament here. They took care of business in the playoffs here and, edged out a very close win over a very experienced Green Mountain team. That really means a lot. This team is super young. They have a lot to look forward to. I mean, I want to say that they only have one senior graduating who is getting a ton of snaps, and overall only 3 seniors on this entire roster. So the future is very, very bright for TCA. They are still the state runner-ups and still have a lot to be proud of. But on behalf of PMC, kudos and congratulations to the Mountain View Mountain Lions for being the first ever girls 4A Colorado flag football state champions.
All right, now we do have a couple interviews with some representatives of Mountain View. We have the head coach, Tim Test. We also get Kendall Finley and Mason Premer on here for a quick little interview. We are going to go ahead and start with Mason Premer, then Kendall Finley, and then end with head coach Tim Test.
What's up? This is Gideon here with Mason Premer from Mountain View High School. Mason, How does it feel? You've made it to the top of the mountain.
It's incredible. This is everyone's dream, and now that we're living it, it just doesn't even feel real yet. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, you fought hard throughout the playoffs, but this was the first playoff game that you guys had a shutout. And how does it feel to reach the peak of your powers at exactly the right time?
We could not have timed that better. I wasn't scared, but we definitely peaked at the right moment there at the end for that last game.
Yeah, and overall, this is unfortunately your last game as a Mountain Lion. You got to go back to being a Spartan here soon. What was your favorite moment of this season, of this championship season for Mountain View?
That is hard. I feel like there's been so many great moments. The one that's most fresh on my mind is Gwen's pick six there at the end. Just ran it all the way back down.
Yes, ma'am. Well, stay frosty. Keep it going. You get back in there.
All right.
But thank you very much,
so
Mason.
much. Thank you.
What's up? This is Gideon here with Kendall Finley from Mountain View High School / Longmont.
Yep.
Kendall, you make that hour drive up to Loveland every day for practice. 14-1 regular season. You come into the playoffs, challenge after challenge. How does it feel to reach the top of the mountain?
It feels amazing. I know I have, and Coach Hank have been saying since day one, the very first practice that we came, we're going to go to state. We're going to win state. Like, this is our team. We have everyone we need. We have all the components. And just driving up there every day was honestly the highlight of my day. I knew that we were going to practice to work hard, and I love everyone on my team. I would take a bullet for all of them. Like, it could have been an hour away. I said this in a couple of interviews before. Could be an hour away. It could be 10 minutes away. I drive anywhere for this team.
And with that, you have become the first team to win the 4A state championship. What does it mean to you to be a pioneer of this game? So you're part of that first group of seniors that's Chasta sanctioned.
Honestly, it feels amazing because, like, obviously us seniors, we didn't get another season. This is our one chance. This is our one and done, and just getting the opportunity to win and doing it our one go. I like to call us the dream team because, you know, we're all seniors. We're all going to be gone next year, but we got the job done. We did what we need to do, and being the first in the state of Colorado, it's an amazing feeling.
All right, and to close it out, unfortunately, this is probably it for at least for your high school flag career. We'll see how college goes, but what has been your favorite moment from your career outside of today?
I mean, it's hard to choose, honestly. I think I can't name a favorite. I feel like we've had so many, not necessarily upsets, but times where we should be feeling down, especially the Valor game like that. As a team, it really impacted us hardly. And just having the determination to come back and to win and rejoin as a team after ending our perfect season, it's just, that honestly was the best part, knowing that we could rely on each other and pick each other up just to win and be here, blow out the number one team 26-0 and get that champ, get that dub.
All right. Well, thank you very much,
Thanks,
Kendall.
sir.
Fair enough. Well, you come in, you say, listen, we don't know too much about this team outside of the stats and what we've heard. Mm-hmm. And you blow this squad out, the number one seed, 26-0. How does that feel?
Incredible. But I'll tell you, man, I don't think we took a breath until that last interception. As long as there was time on the clock, you know, it was terrifying. We know how good of a team TCA is, and it felt like we were in control for most of the game. But being up only 2 scores somehow doesn't feel as comfortable as 3. And we kept trying to get that. We just could not put that third one in. And I'm just, as a coach, you think of every horrible scenario that could happen. Not because you're worried about happening, but you're just worried about what it would mean for your girls, your players that means, you know, that have worked so hard for this. And you think they deserve better than this. And you wish that you could just give them the touchdown, give them the trophy, but you know how they have to earn it. But if nothing else, you know what? This last run from Valor, the Valor loss on, it just showed that we had what it takes to be down, to come back, to play with the lead, even if it's not easy, even if we're not blowing out teams by 20 plus, we could do it. We found several ways to win these last 5 games, and I'm just so proud of these girls. It's amazing.
And, I mean, I know that a lot of these seniors won't be playing on college rosters next year, but you called this team Team Northern Colorado earlier this year. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be able to not just bring this glory to Mountain View, but to Longmont, Loveland, Thompson Valley, Rez, all of them?
It's both incredibly special. I mean, that's an overused word, but that's the only way you could describe this. I mean, a year ago, about this time, I put on Facebook, girls flag football is going to come to Colorado. I'm going to do my best to be a part of it. And that was my only expectation, to be the head coach of the only team up north, to work with someone like Coach Tank, who brought all the football skills we needed to be able to be champions, to work with this incredible group of girls, and to win one game would have been enough. To win 18, that's what we ended up, right? 18-1.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds unreal. And then to make it to the championship and then to win it, I mean, it's special and it's a dream, and I just can't believe it. While at the same time, I totally can, because I know the character and of the girls that we have on the team.
Right. And to close it out, outside of 10 minutes ago and outside of this game, what was your favorite moment from this season with this group of girls? What's the thing you're going to hang on to the longest?
Oh my goodness. There just can't be one. I mean, from the time we met to our first off-season tournament, to the Broncos media day, to being on the radio, to being in the newspaper several times, and not like a humble brag like, hey, look at us. More that so many outlets, including awesome podcasts like yours, wanted to honor our girls. I mean, it means a lot. I'm very humble, and I know what an incredible opportunity I got by being the head coach of this squad. Could have very easily been different. It's special because we are the only ones. I'd like to, though, put the rest of the school districts up north on kind of blast. You know, girls flag football's here. We showed that's possible. We showed that's exciting. We showed that's fun. We showed that girls want to compete, that they want opportunity, and that we can give them that opportunity in a nurturing environment and culture. They can do everything.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right, now, once again, congratulations to Mountain View and the whole program over there, led by Tim Test. You know, great guy, friend of the podcast, you know. Cannot say enough kind words. Then shout out all those great athletes over there who hopefully will be having a future in flag football, which, you know, we also cover college. So we will be over the moon to be able to do it and run it back for a couple more years. So we'll see. You never know. But shout out Mountain View, and let's go ahead and get to our last game of the 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football season. All right, now let's talk about the very last game of the 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football season, and it's your 5A state championship between undefeated 18-0 Mountain Vista and your 16-2 Arvada West, the defending state champions from last year, but the winner here would be the first ever sanctioned 5A Colorado High School Girls Flag Football state champions. For these two teams, it felt like this rematch was inevitable here, going back almost 11 weeks here exactly. They played in week 0 at this exact same stadium at Trailblazer, where Mountain Vista made it known that they were here to play and won 25-13 in a big time win, an upset at the time. But now going into this game, Mountain Vista the favorites, while Arvada West still though defending their state championship. So a lot on the line. Let's go ahead and hop into this one here. Mountain Vista starts with the ball. The junior phenom quarterback Ariana Akey taking over here. She gets a snap. She goes ahead and scrambles right, getting 4. On second down here, Akey looking to throw, eventually finds Riley Rivera, the senior, who finds a soft spot in the zone of this A-West defense, gets a nice gain. That's 1st and 20 now past midfield. Following that, on first down, Akey goes ahead and throws it right to Amanda Swartz, a senior, who goes ahead and gets about 8 here. On second down, Akey rolls out right, and she gets back to Riley Rivera, gets the ball back to her, who goes ahead and puts Mountain Vista in the red zone, first trip of the night. On first down in the red zone, Akey rolls out left and throws over the middle back to Riley Rivera. She goes about 7. On second down, Akey gets a snap and throws it, but it's dropped here, so that brings up third here, where she rolls out left and throws over the middle. This time, it's to a senior wide receiver, one of many, in Isabel Valent, who makes an all-hands catch and gets in for the touchdown to make it 6-0. A great throw over the middle and a good catch by Valent to get them on the board here with 9:31 left. On the PAT, Aki rolls out right, and she throws it. It's tipped up and caught by Braylon Looney, the junior utility player for them. That gives them the early 7-0 lead. Arvada West, they get their first drive here starting at 9:31. 1st and 6. They go ahead and take a deep shot. Sailor Swanson, the senior quarterback and state champion from last year, taking that shot, but it's just off the mark. On second, Swanson scrambles left, but a diving pull by Ariana Aki, who's playing rusher for Mountain Vista, prevents her from getting the first, so it's 3rd and 4. On 3rd down, though, Swanson just goes ahead and throws the curl route to the senior wide receiver, Molly Shellpepper. That does give them a key first down and some, as it's now 1st and 12, approaching midfield. On 1st down here, Swanson goes ahead and scrambles left. She gets only 2 yards here. Good coverage by Mountain Vista and good defense in general. On 2nd, she goes ahead and throws a slant to Sarah Walker, her other senior wide receiver, to give them a 1st down and 20 past midfield. After that, Sailor goes ahead and scrambles right here. Gets about 7. On 2nd, she does the same thing, but penalties are thrown against A West here before she could go, and so that's a false start. That now makes it a 2nd and 18 as they're pushed back 5. On 2nd and 18, Swanson throws the corner out, but it's well covered and a little overthrown, so that brings up 3rd. On 3rd, Sailor Swanson goes ahead and throws a slant to Santana Pena. That would be their junior wide receiver, I believe, would get them some nice yards, bring up 4th and 12, and obviously they're going to go for it as they are past the midfield. And on 4th down, Sailor gets a snap. She goes ahead and goes deep, but it is intercepted, well covered, intercepted by the sophomore Lauren Colbro here, who gives Mountain Vista the ball back. Basically a punt here, a 1st and 20 as they approach midfield, 5:10 left. And so here we go, 2nd drive for Ariana Aki. She goes ahead and rolls out left and then reverses fields and then throws it deep, and I mean deep, to the senior Liana Rivera, who gets a big time gain on this 36-yard pass. It is now 1st and 4 approaching the red zone here. On 1st down, Aki scrambles right. She puts them in the red zone. That now makes it 1st and 18. Following that, she throws a quick out route to number 15, Isabel Valent. That goes for maybe 4 yards here. On 2nd down, Aki then makes a nice throw over the middle back to Valent to make it 3rd and 2 as she almost scores. But then on 3rd down, Aki gets snapped and she just runs left and walks it in to make it 13-0 with 3:16 left. On the PAT, it is intercepted by Sarah Walker, but just like that though, Mountain Vista has a 13-0 lead here in the 1st quarter. A fast start for them. Arvada West with 3:16 left. They got to respond. Here's what happens. Sailor Swanson finds Sarah Walker here as she spins out of a flagpole. That does give them a 1st down regardless, so 1st and 14. Then on 2nd down, Swanson throws it, and it is dropped. On 3rd down, she tries to go back to Walker on a deep pass here, but it's well covered, so it's incomplete. So now that brings up 3rd down, and Swanson throws it again, but it's incomplete. Just good coverage here. So now it's 4th down, and this offense has went ice cold to start as they are forced to punt. Mountain Vista, though, on the other hand, is rolling as they get the ball with 1:04 left, 1st and 17 approaching midfield. On 1st down, Aki rolls out left and eventually finds a receiver, but she is wrangled down by Swanson here, and that is going to be an illegal contact penalty as frustrations continue to build for Arvada West, and so that'll make it a 1st and 3 approaching midfield. On 1st down, again here, Aki takes off left before cutting it back for a big-time gain past midfield. They eventually track her down, but the damage is already done. It's now a 1st and 12 past midfield for Mountain Vista. And that's where we pick up here at the start of the 2nd quarter. 1st and 12 for Mountain Vista here. Aki scrambles left. She goes ahead and gives them another 1st down in a row. Now 1st and 20 in the red zone. In the first play in the red zone, Aki goes ahead and buys time and eventually finds Valent on the curl. That goes for about 10 yards. On second, Aki pivots and runs around before putting one in the end zone. A throw here that is ending up incomplete, so that brings up third down. On third, Aki throws it. It's a little bit of a low pass, so it's incomplete as well. So now it's 4th and 11, and Mountain Vista decides to take a timeout at 9:45 left. They want to make sure they talk this one over, as they have a chance to go up 3 scores on A West, and that would put them in a very difficult hole to dig themselves out of. And so out of the timeout, by the way, the first one of the half, Aki gets a snap. She avoids the rush, throws one into the end zone, and has an open receiver, but it's just slightly off the mark, so that's a turnover on downs. Arvada West escaping a tough situation, potentially, where they would have went down 3 scores if that pass connected. Take over with the 1st and 9 with 9:28 left. And so here we go. Sailor Swanson under center goes ahead and makes a quick throw here to Katie Hufford. That goes for no gain, stopped by Braylon Looney. On 2nd and 9 here, Swanson checks down to number 4, Alexis Mays, another sophomore. This time she's able to get about 5. On 3rd, Swanson gets a snap. She eventually is forced to check it down to Molly Shellpepper, avoiding the sack here. And Shellpepper makes a player miss and cuts it upfield for a big time gain. Eventually, she's tracked down, and so the damage is already done, though. Arvada West, 1st and 5, approaching midfield. On 1st down here, Swanson throws a slant to Santana Pena, who gives them another straight 1st down, this time past the midfield. It's now 1st and 16. On this next play, Swanson then checks it down to Shellpepper. She gets maybe 1. On 2nd, she then throws a slant to Pena. She gets 5. On 3rd, she then finds Sarah Walker kind of deep here on a dig route for a big time 1st down in the red zone of 1st and 20. A nice physical catch there. On 1st and 20, Sailor Swanson throws off the mark here. Her throws off the mark, but it's because there's a penalty for roughing the passer. So now it'll be about 1st and 9. 1st and 9 in the red zone. Swanson throws it, but this pass is almost picked and into the hands of Sarah Walker, who reaches over, but it is short. It's 2nd and inches. Kind of a lucky play here, but a great heads-up catch by Walker to give them these yards. On 2nd down, Swanson ends up throwing it as the pressure almost gets there, and it's tipped at the line. That brings up 3rd here. And then on 3rd, Swanson's running around. She decides to scramble, but Ariana Aki leaps for her flag and gets the big-time sack before she could get away. And so now it's 4th and 10 for Arvada West in the red zone. They go ahead and call a timeout at 4:56 left. And so here we go, 4:56 out of the timeout, 4th down. Arvada West sorely needing something here to work with. Here's what happens. Sailor Swanson gets a snap, and she goes deep to Sarah Walker, and she comes down with the ball and double coverage at the back of the end zone to give Arvada West some life here. A much needed score. On the PAT, Swanson goes back to Walker, the classic duo, and that's complete there to make it 13-7 as Arvada West is back into this game. Now Vista with 4:51 left looking to respond. Here's what happens. Aki gets a snap. She's running around, pulls a little Manzo move, and then turns it upfield after reversing fields and gets a big time 1st down, a 1st and 8 approaching midfield. An electric run by Ariana Aki to get this offense moving. On 1st down, Aki then throws over the middle, and it's a diving catch by Braylon Looney for about a gain of 7. After a drop on 2nd down, we get to 3rd down here, and Aki goes back to Isabel Valent here to give them a 1st down past midfield as they are rolling. It's now 1st and 11. On 1st down here, Aki gets a snap. She gets rid of the ball, throwing it, but it's a diving deflection by Sailor Swanson, who's playing safety, by the way, so that brings up 2nd down. On 2nd, Aki looking to pass, eventually just scrambles left for a nice gain that makes it 3rd and 2. But before they could run a play on 3rd and 2, it's a false start on Mountain Vista. So now it's 3rd and 7 here. On 3rd down, that gets a snap off. Aki looking. She ends up sidearming it over the middle to number 1, the senior Riley Rivera, for a big time throw to put them back in the red zone here. 1st and 11. Just a great throw right there. On 1st down here in the red zone, Aki rolls out right and throws the out route right back to Rivera. She is short of the touchdown. It's 2nd and 1. Arvada West then decides to call a timeout with 1:08 left here to talk about it on defense. Out of the timeout, 2nd and 1 for Mountain Vista. Aki gets snapped. She goes left and then cuts it upfield before diving for the end zone, but she is marked just short here. A good pull by Arvada West. So now it's 3rd and 1. A West then calls another timeout here in the last 49.5 seconds, hopefully looking to get a stop and get some time to put together a last-minute drive right before half. But 3rd down and 1 for Mountain Vista. Aki gets a snap and she just powers it right and walks it in for the touchdown to make it 19-7. On the PAT, Aki rolls right and finds Braylon Looney to now make it 20-7 as Mountain Vista gets a massive response here to that Arvada West touchdown. Now, Arvada West, they have 45 seconds left here, and here is what happens. Swanson gets snapped, throws it to Molly Shellpepper. She goes for a nice gain. On 2nd down here, Swanson throws to the corner left, looking for a splash play to Sarah Walker, but there seems to be a miscommunication there as the route is not quite completely done, and that ends up being an interception by Kaylee Besh, the sophomore out of Mountain Vista. And so Mountain Vista gets the ball with the 1st and 20, 17.2 seconds left. They are past midfield as they look to go up 3 scores again and put away, or begin to put away, Arvada West. And so 1st down here, Aki throws down the left sideline, and it's a leaping grab by Serena Reeder next to the sideline. A nice toe tap there to go ahead and give them the 15-yard gain. It's now 2nd and 5. Mountain Vista calls a timeout at the 12-second mark. Out of the timeout, 2nd down here, Aki runs right. She goes ahead and gets out of bounds. That puts them in the red zone of 1st and 18 with 4.9 seconds left. The clock is stopped here, but Mountain Vista calls a timeout anyways. And then out of the timeout, here is what happens. They're looking for a shot. Aki gets a snap, and she throws it right up the seam to Braylon Looney here, and she's matched up with Sailor Swanson, but Swanson comes down with the interception with a leaping pick here, a must to end the half and prevent this game from getting out of reach here, or potentially out of reach here, as they go to half with Arvada West down to Mountain Vista 20-7. Fortunately for A West, though, they will start the second half with the ball, and so here's what happens. On 1st down, the pressure almost gets there, and Swanson is forced to throw it away. It's incomplete. On 2nd, Swanson finds Santana Pena on the curl that gives them a 1st and 18. Following that, Swanson gets a snap, throws the out route to Walker, the deep out route, that goes for a gain of 10. On 2nd here, the ball is tipped at the line by one of the rushers for Mountain Vista, so that's incomplete, brings up 3rd down. On 3rd, Swanson rolls out right and throws to number 3, Alyssa Alberts, for a big 1st down past midfield. It's 1st and 16. Following that, Swanson throws a slant to Pena, who makes it 2nd and 3 on a nice gain. She then throws it to Alyssa Alberts here. She gives them another straight 1st down, a 1st and 13 in the red zone. On 1st and 13, Swanson gets a snap, and she finds Walker for a big-time touchdown to make it 20-13. A great catch by Walker and good timing by Swanson here to cut into this lead. On the PAT, Swanson finds Shellpepper on the extra point to make it 20-14. And so here we go. It's now a 1-score game again. Mountain Vista with 8:12 left, looking to re-extend this lead here. On 1st down, Aki throws it to number 1, Riley Rivera, to give them a 1st and 20. On 1st down, Aki throws it right to Valent to make it 2nd and 13, a gain of 7. On 2nd, Aki runs right, and she decides to scramble. She is pulled down, though, by Lindley McReynolds here, and so that brings up a 3rd and 8. Then on 3rd and 8, Aki looking to pass, but the pressure almost gets there. She throws it. It's a little low, so it's incomplete. So now that brings up 4th down, and they got to punt it as Arvada West, with 6:20 left, has some time to potentially tie this game and maybe even retake the lead or take the first lead ever in this championship game. And so 1st and 13 approaching midfield. Swanson throws the slant to Pena. That goes for a nice gain of about 10 or so. Following that, it's 2nd here. Sailor Swanson scrambles right. She gives them a 1st down past midfield, 1st and 17. On 1st down, Sailor Swanson takes a deep shot down the right sideline, but it is incomplete. It was 1-on-1, but just slightly out of sync, so that is incomplete. Following that, Swanson goes ahead and throws the out to Walker left. She makes it 3rd and 15, a very short gain there. Then Swanson throws the out to Shell Pepper, who makes a contested catch, then spins out of a pull for a big 1st down, getting some yards and some before she's finally taken down. It's 1st and 12 in the red zone. Now, unfortunately for Arvada West, a delay of game would push them back, making it 1st and 17. But then on 1st down, Swanson gets a snap, steps up, and throws it to Walker, who reaches out a hand, but it is just slightly off the mark here. It might have been a touchdown if she got maybe 2 hands, but just off the mark, so that's tough there. Now on 2nd down, Swanson throws a curl to Pena, who makes it a manageable 3rd and 8. Then it's 3rd and 8 here. Swanson goes ahead, pulls the ball, and runs it in for a touchdown, but they're going to go ahead and bring that back for an illegal block, so that touchdown now becomes a 3rd and 13. On 3rd down, Swanson then gets a snap, and she throws a dot to Walker right over the middle here. A great throw, just squeezing it in this tight window, and Walker brings that in and walks it in to tie this game at 1 minute and 33 seconds in the 3rd quarter. An electric throw as Arvada West is back in this game. It's 20-20. Now on the PAT, a chance to go ahead and take the lead here. Swanson gets a snap, and she throws the out route to Walker, and it's good as it's 21-20. Arvada West with the first lead of the game with 1:33 left in the 3rd quarter, and that gets this Arvada West fan base up and going here as we got a game as Mountain Vista takes over with 1:33 left in the 3rd. Plenty of time to respond. Here's what happens. Aki gets a snap, buys a lot of time running away from the rush before eventually finding Addison Devlin on the check down to give them a 1st down, a 1st and 17. On 1st down, Aki makes a tough throw to Isabel Valent that goes ahead and makes it 2nd and 6 on the 11-yard gain. Then on 2nd down, Aki gets a snap. She's forced to buy some time here, but there's just no one open. Throws it over the middle. It's just a little too low, so it's incomplete. On 3rd and 6, Aki gets a snap, throws the quick curl right. That goes to Liana Rivera, the senior, and she gives them a 1st down. And that's how the 3rd quarter ends as we enter the 4th quarter of an instant classic, one of the greatest football games that we've ever had to witness here. Arvada West up 21, Mountain Vista trailing 20, but with a 1st down and 15 past midfield and the ball. And so here we go. On 1st down, it's a delayed handoff, a little bit of a draw here to Riley Rivera. That goes for about 8. On 2nd, Aki goes left and throws over the middle. It's caught, and that makes it 3rd and 2. Aki then gets the snap, checks it down quickly to Looney. That gives them a 1st down in the red zone, a 1st and 19. On 1st down, it's the same play. Aki goes back to Looney here. She gets about 7 more. On 2nd, Aki rolls out right, and she finds number 2, Addison Devlin, to now make it 3rd and 4 here, and then 3rd and 4, Aki gets a snap. She's scrambling left, and she has an Aaron Rodgers moment, reaching for the pylon on the diving run, and it's a touchdown as Mountain Vista retakes the lead 26-21. An electric play here as she reaches this thing out, diving to avoid that rush, the closing defense here, and just getting past here. An electric play. But on the PAT, they're going for 1 here, I believe, and they throw it, but it is deflected by Molly Shellpepper, who is subbed in on defense for the senior in her final game as a high school flag football player. And so here we go. It stays at 26-21. Arvada West not out of it. They take over with the 1st down and 6. Sailor Swanson and company setting up. And so here we go, first down. Swanson finds Walker on the drag, who spins out of a couple tackles, and she goes ahead and gets some nice yards after the catch. It's now 1st and 7 approaching midfield. Following that, Swanson throws it quickly to Alyssa Albert. She makes a one-handed grab before getting some nice yards to give them another first down in a row, 1st and 18 past midfield. On first, Swanson scrambles out right. She gets about 5. On second here, they go ahead and check it down, but Looney gets a big-time pass breakup, so now that brings up third down. On third, Swanson goes ahead and scrambles out right here. She goes ahead and makes it 4th and 4, but she is short. Obviously, they're going to go for it here. On 4th down, here is what happens. Swanson gets the snap, and she's immediately pressured by Braylon Looney, and so she throws it, but it's picked off by Ariana Akey, and she's going down the left sideline, but Sailor Swanson with a diving pull stops a potential pick 6. A pick 6 here would have basically ended the game here, and so Arvada West for now stays alive, but Mountain Vista has the ball with 6:42 left, a 1st and 6 approaching midfield. They are looking for a dagger or a potential play to put them away. Here's what happens. Akey gets a snap, throws it to Looney, who goes right up the sideline here, the right sideline, for a first down past midfield, 1st and 17. After a drop on first, it's now 2nd down here, or it appears to be, but there is a roughing the passer penalty called on first, so they're going to go ahead and replay that, but now it's 1st and 7 past midfield. Now, first down here, Vista with the ball. Akey goes ahead and throws the curl route to Serena Reeder, and she leaps for the first down, reaching over, and she gets it. It's a 1st and 17 in the red zone. On first down, Akey checks it down to Looney. She makes some players miss here and makes it a manageable 2nd and 8. On second, Akey draws the 2 rushers here, and one of them just loses Addison Devlin, who Akey goes ahead and checks it down to, and she gets another 4 yards. Before the third down play, Vista calls a timeout at 3:57 left here. And so, out of the timeout, it's 3rd and 4. Akey gets the snap. She's looking, but she's sacked by the junior Lindley McReynolds here. And so that forces a 4th and 7 play. Arvada West sorely needing a stop here to potentially set up a game-winning drive. And so here is what happens. Ariana Akey gets the snap, pumps the ball, gets a defender in the air, and she goes left, throws the sidearm to number 15, Isabel Valent, the senior, and she dives for the touchdown. Bang! It's now 32-21 as Mountain Vista potentially puts the dagger into Arvada West. Now the PAT's no good. This is an 11-point game. A-West gets the ball with 3:13 left. They have some time. They have all their timeouts. So here's what the situation is. They got to score on this drive. They can't really use a timeout here. And then they got to get a 3 and out. And then potentially get maybe a minute with no timeouts to put together a game-winning drive. So that's the situation, but they got to score here first. On first down, though, it doesn't start out well. It's a drop. On second down, Sailor Swanson rolls right, and she throws it on the run. It's almost a one-handed pick by a safety of Mountain Vista, but it falls incomplete. So now it's 3rd and 6 here. And on third down, Swanson gets a snap, scrambles out right to the middle here, and gets some nice yards, but there's an illegal contact penalty called on Mountain Vista, so that stops the clock, and that also gives Arvada West a first down past midfield, 1st and 18. On first down, Sailor Swanson scrambles left here. She gets about 8. On second, Swanson looking. She eventually just decides to scramble out right. She gets about 7. Getting out of bounds too as the clock stops. Then on 3rd and 7 here, Swanson gets a snap, and she sees Sarah Walker in 1-on-1, and she throws it here in the end zone, but it is knocked away in 1-on-1 by number 17, the sophomore Lauren Colbro here, who makes it 4th down, a clutch pass deflection here to bring up 4th. And here is what happens. On 4th down, Sailor Swanson gets the snap. She throws the slant to Alyssa Alberts. That gives them a key first down in the red zone. Clock stops at 1:40 as they set the ball, but it starts running as it's set, 1st and 14. On first down, Sailor Swanson gets a snap. She throws it. It's intercepted, but it is a roughing the passer penalty. So now the clock stops again. It's 1st and 7 as they move up. And here's what happened. 1st and 7. Arvada West needs a touchdown. Swanson gets the snap, throws to the corner here, but it's picked off by Ariana Aki, who baits this route and toe taps it in, and this one is over as Mountain Vista gets the ball and knees out the rest of the game. Mountain Vista ascending, and they have remained undefeated, 19-0, and they are now your 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football 5A state champions with a score of 32-21, dethroning the state champions from last year. An electric game from Ariana Aki and company here as they beat a very good Arvada West team who stormed back from being down 2 scores and made it a 21-20 game here at the top, near the top of the 4th quarter. And then from there, this Mountain Vista offense and defense just found a way to get it done and close this one out for their first title in program history and year 2 of this program as well. And so an amazing game here, so much to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Arvada West first here, though. Man, did they battle. They pushed Mountain Vista and made them sweat. There were a couple times where this game teetered on them going down 3 scores, but they stood strong here, and they stood strong and stood their ground, and they found a way to scrape and get back into it and take the lead. They were leading 21-20 in the 4th quarter. Just a couple passes did not go their way, a couple tough picks made by Ariana Aki, but it just is what it is. They had their chances and they just could not quite get it there. So it's just heartbreaking for a team that has been to state 3 times, most out of any team so far here. First year, obviously, they lost a close one to Chatfield. They came 1 yard short on the goal line of scoring the game-winning touchdown in that one. In year 2, they find redemption. They beat Creek by a lot in that one. And then in year 3, they lose to this team, but they go on a run afterwards. They put together a great playoff push here, beating the likes of Grandview, Douglas County, and Valor Christian by a lot. And then play Mountain Vista in an absolute dogfight here. And then they just fall a little bit short in this one, the defending state champs just losing here. And, you got to feel for them, but this is a team with a lot of seniors, and we got to shout them out because these were players that were the pioneers. They were players that were here since year 1. We're talking about Sailor Swanson, Sarah Walker, Molly Shellpepper, I believe, as well. Danica Rodriguez-Gonzalez is another one that was on this team here as well. I think maybe only 2 years. I could be wrong, though, but she's been on this squad for a minute. Those players were some of the first ones we've ever covered in Colorado Girls High School Flag Football, and they paved the way for teams like Mountain Vista to go ahead and find the success that they find. And at the end of the day, they still pushed them. They gave them a game. They just came a little bit short here, and so just a tough game, to swallow for them. Obviously, you want to end your career out on top, but they had an excellent high school flag football career, and there is a future for them in college where we will be waiting and looking forward to covering them next season. Well, not next season in 2025, but hopefully in 2026 for these players. And so a lot of love for them. This is our first group of players that we've followed throughout their whole career, 3 years, and it means a lot to us for sure. And they played their hearts out in this game, and we have so much respect for what they're able to do. And that's just a few players that we were able to mention. There's a lot of other seniors on this group, on this team, and a lot of other seniors on other teams, like over at Chatfield as well, that we have so much respect for. But, this really felt like a changing of the guard. They were the state champs last year, and then they lose to this team in Mountain Vista, who just rolled basically through everyone. First undefeated team ever. And so definitely no shame in that loss. They gave it their all here. Just came up a little bit short in this one. So shout out Arvada West. That's a great program over there. They're going to be back here in the next couple of years. They're going to have to rebuild, get some new players to step up. But, you can never count this team out. They're a program that's here to stay. So shout out this team. Shout out the seniors on that squad. We have so much respect for them. They made this game into the classic that it was meant to be. Now, speaking of meant to be, let's go ahead and let's talk about Mountain Vista here. 19-0, a 19-game win streak, ending with a ring, because we all know it ain't no thing without a ring. They win 32-21, and there's a lot of players that we gotta give credit to. I think I want to give a lot of credit to the senior receiving core that was so much on top of it throughout this whole season. Riley Rivera, Liana Rivera, Emily Williams, who I don't think was able to play in this game. Unfortunately, she was injured here. But she was a big contributor throughout this season for them. Serena Reeder was a big contributor for them. Isabel Valent, definitely down the line here, was a big contributor for them. That's just to name a couple receivers here and seniors for Mountain Vista that, laid the foundation last year. And then this year they found a way to get it done and end their careers on top here. That's big time. Just all reliable, great receivers who made some tough catches, who made the catches that they needed to make, made the plays that they needed to make, got those first downs, scored, made Ariana Akey's life a lot easier out there. And so you got to shout out this receiving core for Mountain Vista that did their job. And that's why they are state champions here in 2024. But this recap would not be complete without talking about Ariana Akey here. She has had an excellent season and, a state championship, a ring to end, I believe, her first season of flag football on top. The torch has been passed. We've praised Taylor Swanson and Sarah Walker so much these last 3 years here. It's now been passed to Ariana Akey, who made plays when they needed them on both sides of the ball. At quarterback, she led so many scoring drives for them, including a very fast start in their first couple to go ahead and put them up early and, put Arvada West in a pretty tough position here, that's a team that you got to do that to. You can't allow them to just keep hanging around, and they were looking to put them away a lot, and thanks to Ariana Akey here, who was both passing it and running it. But either way, they finished the drives with touchdowns, and that's what mattered. And then on defense, playing rusher, she got a couple pass deflections. She got some pressures that forced some incompletions. And then ultimately here in the fourth quarter, she made those 2 interceptions against Taylor Swanson to pretty much seal that game here. That quarter interception in the end zone, the very last one, will forever be stuck in my head when thinking about this game because it was just such an excellent play here. It looked like it was about to be a touchdown. It was thrown, right with good timing. It was the right decision, but Akey just closed on that so quickly, and there's just nothing you could do about that sometimes. And so we have to shout her out here. I mean, she's going to be the face, if not already the face, of Colorado girls high school flag football. And I think this state championship established her in general as one of the best flag football players in the entire country. Shout out all the colleges who reached out to us and showed us a lot of love and gave their respects to Ariana Akey and this Mountain Vista defense through our DMs and other ways of communication after this state championship here. They're on the map. There's no doubt about that. This Mountain Vista team is now on the radars on a lot of teams, not just in the state, but now in the country now. That's what it's looking like right now, and that's absolutely insane to think about for a second-year program when you have some programs going as long as 1998 down in Florida as well. So, absolutely great night of flag football here. Ariana Akey played some good ball, and that's just what it came down to. Now, I don't want to leave out too many people here. There are a lot of great players that I want to mention as well. Obviously, this team will be losing those seniors, but they bring back Akey, and so I think that's as good of a reassurance as you can want with any state championship team. Bring back your starting quarterback and arguably your best player, but they also bring back some other very good players. They bring back Addison Devlin, who got involved a little bit more down the line in this game here, and I think will be a little bit more involved in a bigger role next season. They also bring back Braylon Looney, who made some big plays both on offense and defense here. I'd say on defense she really set the tone, and she got them some tough stops here. The one that came to mind was that pressure she had on Taylor Swanson that forced that first interception in the fourth quarter. Electric play there, by the way, by Braylon Looney. And then on offense, she did her thing. She got some clutch, catches and whatnot. Especially after that interception, she would get a big-time first down that would pretty much put this thing away. And she just played great football. I think next year, because of how many senior wide receivers there were, I mean, there are a lot of mouths to feed in that receiving core. And even then, she played well, got the ball a lot. I think next year she could definitely see an even bigger increase in target shares, and this team will still be pretty dangerous. So there you go. Then you also have some other players, especially in the secondary, like Kaylee Besh, Lauren Culbro? I feel like I'm saying that wrong, so I apologize if I am, who are only sophomores. They'll be juniors next year, who are going to be big time, as well as a bunch of other players I'm sure I am forgetting about at this point, who will help Mountain Vista not lose a step, at least on the defensive side, which I think is definitely big time. So the future is bright for Mountain Vista. They are definitely in position to go back to back here, but for now, they're going to go ahead and enjoy this first state championship win. Final score of this one, 32-21 over Arvada West. Mountain Vista is your 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football 5A state champions. All right, now I'm in post-edit, and I definitely almost forgot to include the interviews, but we had some great interviews here, two of them with the two juniors, some of the two leaders of this Mountain Vista squad. We got the junior Braylon Looney, as well as the playmaker of this game, Ariana Akey, the quarterback for Mountain Vista. So coming up, we're going to go ahead and have this interview with Braylon Looney, and then right after that, it will be the Ariana Akey interview.
Cody Stoffer here, Playmakers Corner. Please introduce yourself and let us know what you just accomplished.
We just won state.
Right there on the scoreboard, you can still see the results here. Honestly, congratulations on winning state.
Thank you so much.
Kind of just take me through the emotions of the game. I mean, this game was so dynamic.
It was great.
You were doing so much on both sides of the ball. And what was going through your mind kind of jumping out to that early lead initially?
Yeah, we knew we were up at half, but that didn't mean anything because A-West is a great team. We knew they were going to come back, or we knew that we had to step up, or they were going to come back, and they did. But then we didn't let off the gas, and that's what honestly let us push through and win state.
What did you tell your teammates, or what were you trying to spread when you guys did fall behind 21-20?
Don't give up, because we knew we were a good team. We went undefeated all season. We beat them before. We knew we were going to pull through, and we did.
Absolutely. And if you could just think about how big this is monumentally. This is the first
huge.
ever championship that is sanctioned. What does that mean to you, and what do you think it means for younger girls, or what message you want to spread to younger players who are going to grow up to play in a state that's flag football?
We really just set the tone for Colorado. Mountain Vista is a great team, great seniors. We love them so much, and it means that flag football is a real sport. Everyone doubts it. It's a real sport, and we just won state.
Absolutely. One word to describe the emotions that you're feeling right now. There's probably a million, but I'm going to make you choose one.
Insane.
Insane. You heard it here with Looney here. Congratulations once again on a great season, and we'll see you around. Cody Stoffer, Playmakers Corner here. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you just accomplished just now.
I'm Ariana Akey, and we just won the inaugural state girls flag football championship.
Darn right you did. Congratulations on the huge win. And I guess just kind of take me through the emotions of the game. I mean, started off really hot, cooled down for a little bit. They took the lead, and then you stormed right back with the massive plays on both sides. What was kind of going through your mind throughout the game, and how did you stay even-keeled and keep making plays all the way to the end?
We just had to keep making plays, take one play at a time. We couldn't think too far ahead, and I think our team did a great job at just making big plays.
Awesome. Now, take me back to your two biggest plays down the stretch, the go-ahead touchdown throw. What was going through your mind as you're rolling left and just making a pass that not many quarterbacks can make, scrolling left and then throwing back right?
I was just like, Izzy's a stud receiver, so I'm like, if I throw it up there, she's going to go get it, and she did.
Awesome, and I overheard that you haven't really played a ton of defense, but yet you made two of the biggest interceptions in this game, including the game sealer in the back of the end zone. What's going through your mind on that play?
I was just like, you better not drop it. You better not drop it. Go up and get it. Better not drop it.
Go ahead, and if you could give us one word to describe what you're feeling right now, what would it be?
I'm pumped.
Pumped. You heard it here first. Congratulations on being a state champion. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you.
All right, so there you go there. Those are the final recaps of the 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football season. But we do have to name our final playmakers of the week here in 2024. Let's go ahead and start in 4A. We are going to go with Mountain View's Kendall Finley. Honestly, with that Mountain View team, it is hard to pick one, but Kendall Finley is a player that played both ways and made some great plays both in the semis and in state here. You know, at this point, we've almost highlighted every player of that Mountain View squad, but we really felt like Kendall Finley stood out in this one. So shout out Kendall Finley from Mountain View, the senior. She's your 2024 Colorado Girls High School Flag Football Playmaker of the Week, the last one here in 4A. Now, in 5A, I think this one is pretty easy here, but we got to go with the junior quarterback from Mountain Vista. That's Ariana Akey. And not really, I can't just say quarterback because she also played rusher, played a little bit of DB in that state championship game. You know, they made plays as a team, but when they needed big shifts in both momentum and the emotional aspect of it, Ariana Akey was able to come through time and time again. Anywhere. Offense, she's either passing it or running it in. Defense, sacks or interceptions, name your choice, she made it happen. And Mountain Vista is undefeated and is going to be the first undefeated team ever in Colorado Girls High School Flag Football history, ending with that state championship. So your final Playmaker of the Week here in 5A in this 2024 season is Mountain Vista's junior quarterback, Ariana Akey.
What an amazing first season of sanctioned Colorado high school girls flag football that was. I literally can't think of a better way the first season could have possibly gone. You had both of the top teams in both classifications play each other in the state championship, for one thing, and then everything leading up to the state championships was incredible too. I'm going to take some time here to discuss some of my favorite memories from this season, shout out a bunch of players I got to watch, and then finally briefly talk about some teams I am excited for next season. The first memory that I want to bring up has got to be Week 0. Week 0 consisted of 3 5A Final Four teams playing against each other to start the year. And this was also the coming out party for Ariana Akey and the rest of Mountain Vista. We didn't really know much about them. We knew they were going to be pretty good going into this season, but we had no idea just what we were in for. They handed Arvada West their first regular season loss in program history, and that, folks, is when we knew that something special is going on in Mountain Vista. And then we also saw a very raw Legend team before they became the powerhouse that would take them to the Final Four. They didn't do much offensively in these first couple of games, but they definitely turned that around towards the end of the season. They looked elite defensively, and that stayed true for the rest of the year. Another great memory from this season was watching Arapahoe get the overtime win versus Heritage to win the first ever Crystal Cup. Arapahoe was a first-year program, and Heritage had a ton of talent this year with Ashley Nichols and Ryan Taylor leading the offense and defense. This was a surprising win for Arapahoe, and it showed that they are definitely worth a playoff spot. After that, I had Cherry Creek taking down Arvada West in a back-and-forth matchup. Addie Beck was pretty much unknown as a quarterback going into this game, at least for us at the podcast, but she went ahead and led Cherry Creek to a victory in a rematch of last year's state championship. I also have to mention the Mullen double overtime win versus Arapahoe. This was my first time getting to see Mullen play, and it was my second time watching Arapahoe. These were two evenly matched squad, with Mullen having a very, very tough defense, especially at linebacker. Sarah Garner balled out in this game, completely taking over drives, and then Arapahoe really hung in there with their tough defense and their methodical offensive game plan. This was a game that ended controversially for Arapahoe, but it was still an exciting win and definitely one of my favorite memories from this season. I also want to bring up Arvada West destroying all of their competition leading up to the 5A state championship. The Wildcats show that there's levels to this thing by completely dominating on both sides of the ball on their way to the state championship. Grandview and Douglas County are two very solid squads, but the way Arvada West made those teams look was just ridiculous. Their experience and skill really showed through in the playoffs, and it was really just exciting to watch, getting to see the senior heavy class put everything together by dominating what's in front of them. And last but certainly not least, in what is probably my favorite memory from this season, I have Ariana Akey putting on the best performance I have ever seen on her way to leading Mountain Vista to the first ever sanctioned 5A flag football state championship. I've covered flag football at the college and high school level for over a year now, and Ariana Akey put up the best performance I have ever seen from one player. Arvada West was looking indestructible going into the state championship, and there was only one player that could possibly have taken them down, and her name is Ariana Akey. Her heroics in that game is something that is going to be remembered for years to come. Now, folks, I just want to take some time to shout out some players from the teams that I got to watch this season in 5A and 4A. I'm just going to list a few players from each of the teams. I know there's plenty more than the ones I'm about to list, so I'm sorry if you don't hear your name, but these are definitely the names that came to mind. Starting us off in 5A from Mountain Vista, I've got Ariana Akey and Braylon Looney. From Arvada West, I got to shout out Sailor Swanson, Sarah Walker, and Molly Shellpepper. Out of Cherry Creek, we've got Addie Beck, Molly DeRigi, and Sophia Ball. From Legend, I want to shout out Maddie Smolin. From Chatfield, we got Ducky Archuleta. Then out of Valor, it's Alexis Wood, Faith Prinzo, Margot Harry, and Savannah Prinzo. From Douglas County, Ellie Bowers, Jillian Cabral, and Alani De Leon. Out of Grandview, we got Brooke Sullivan. From Doherty, it's Alyssa Ramos. Out of Ralston Valley, Ashlyn Callahan and Carmen Johnson. From Chaparral, Sophia O'Donnell, Jamie Baum, and Zoe Fink. From Heritage, I want to shout out Ashley Nichols and Ryan Taylor. And then finally from Arapahoe, we got Alexa LaDuff, Izzy Usagani, and Lizzie Padilla. Now let's go ahead and look at 4A here. Out of Mullen, we got the linebackers Sarah Garner and Johnny Jones. Out of Vista Ridge, we got Josie Gonzalez and Brooklyn Kaiser. From Green Mountain, the wide receiver Marissa Van Gilder, Julia Schaefer, Sasha Kalani. From Pomona, we got Jay Cordova and Timberly Martinez. The state champs Mountain View, we got Mason Premer, Kendall Finley, Mia Artis, and Gwen Marks. Out of TCA, we got the freshman Reagan Harder. And then finally, out of Elizabeth, the rusher Sophia Angulo Alfaro. These aren't all of the players that I thought were amazing or good even. These are just the players that, off the top of my head, I think left the biggest impact in the games that I saw. Lastly here, folks, I'm just going to briefly talk about some teams that I'm excited about for next year in 5A and 4A. In 5A, we got Mountain Vista. Them beating Arvada West just kind of felt like a passing of the torch moment. Obviously, Sailor Swanson and Sarah Walker have been running the state in flag football for the last few years. And to see Ariana Akey step up and grab that championship, it definitely was a passing of the torch moment. I really am excited to see what her and Braylon Looney and the rest of Mountain Vista do next year to see if they can repeat. Next, we got Chaparral, one of the youngest teams in the state and one of the best teams in the state as well. This team is extremely well coached. They got a freshman quarterback, going to be a sophomore quarterback, and just a ton of young players around this roster to build around. If anyone has the best base to build on, it is probably the Chaparral Wolverines. After that, I want to talk about Douglas County. Douglas County has probably one of my favorite defensive fronts in the entire state, with Jillian Cabral, Alani De Leon, and Ellie Bowers. Those three players are high-flying. They are going to be diving, jumping, doing everything they can to get flagpoles, and that just makes Douglas County one of the toughest teams in the state. I'm really excited to see what those three do next year. After that, we got Arvada West. I really just put them down because I'm very interested to see what they're going to do without Sarah Walker and Sailor Swanson there, and Molly Shellpepper and a slew of other seniors. You're going to have young players like Harper Tillman have to step up here. But honestly, I think Arvada West will be fine. They should be at least top 6 next year. But it's one of those things to keep an eye out for. After that, we got the legend Titans. The Titans came all the way down to the wire in the Final Four game, and they just couldn't pull it out. This is as tough of a team as it gets. They are never, ever giving up, no matter what the score is. And I think that tells a lot about that coaching staff and just the players that they've got. They're losing a few seniors this year, but honestly, I just want to see if they can improve offensively, because ultimately I think that this is a team that can make it back to the Final Four next year. Second to last year in 5A, we got Cherry Creek. Cherry Creek couldn't quite get it done this year. I thought they were going to be a Final Four team, but that legend game, it just kind of took that out from under them. I think with Addie Beck at quarterback, and then you got Molly Garigi. That is a very solid core of players to build around on offense and defense. And obviously Cherry Creek has a massive enrollment at their school, so talent probably won't be that hard to find. Cherry Creek should be very good next year. And then last but not least in 5A, I want to talk about Doherty. Doherty is an exciting team. They run an offense that doesn't really have many splash plays. They're really just focused on moving the sticks and wearing down the team that's in front of them. Honestly, I just hope that they schedule more games in Denver next year so that they're more prepared for playoffs. I like their coaching staff a lot. I like the young core that they've got. They're definitely on my radar for next year. Now let's talk about some 4A squads that I'm excited about. First up here, we got TCA. TCA is to 4A what Chaparral is to 5A. They are an extremely young squad, and they're already very, very good. I think next year what they really need to do is just schedule more games in Denver and just expand that schedule a bit so they're more diverse and prepared for playoffs. The young core that they've got is something that any coach will be lucky to have. So honestly, I expect TCA to be up near the top again in 4A once again. Another team that I'm excited about next year is the 4A state champs Mountain View. They're going to be losing a ton of seniors from this state championship team, but they are also one of the best coached teams in the state, so they should be fine for next year. I'm just a little bit worried about what they're going to do at quarterback and on defense, but either way they should be fine and should be a top 5 team regardless. After that, we got the Mullen Mustangs. I'm really just excited for Mullen just to see what Sarah Garner does next year without Johnny Jones there. She should be the absolute focal point of that defense again, and then the year after that as well. She's one of the top college prospects in the state, so obviously I'm very excited to see what Mullen does with her next year. I also want to talk about Pomona here. Pomona was my favorite to win state in 4A before the start of the season, mostly because I didn't know much about the rest of the teams. And then you throw in the fact that Pomona was a Final Four team the year before when classifications were mixed. They're one of the more experienced teams in the state, despite returning most of their players for next year. Pomona should be scary for sure. Then you got George Washington, another team that's very young. They got the freshman QB, but they're also losing a senior wide receiver and a couple of other key playmakers. I think George Washington's going to be extremely good next year. They do have Madison Honeycutt coming back, so they will have their top receiver. Honestly, George Washington is one of my favorite teams to keep an eye out for here in 2025. After that, you got Manual, a very young team that I just want to see make some big improvements. They need to schedule a more wide range of teams, not necessarily down in the springs, but just branch out and try and challenge yourselves so you're more prepared for playoffs. Then lastly, here in 4A, I want to talk about Air Academy. The Cadets have a ton of talent on their team, with them pulling from schools like Pine Creek, which is the biggest school in Colorado Springs, but they just run an offense that is really underwhelming. I think with the athletes that they have, they can definitely start to spread things out a little bit. Maybe they'll find a QB by next year. I don't know what they need necessarily, but I do know that they just got to switch up that offensive flow to score more points and give themselves a better chance against better teams. And with that, this is Gino with the Playmakers Corner podcast, checking out for the final time for the 2024 Colorado High School Girls Flag Football season. Thank you all for coming along with us on this awesome journey, and I will see you all next season. Peace out.
All right, so Gino, thank you for that. We really appreciate all the work that he's been able to do covering girls high school flag football this season. He's been super passionate about it, especially having seen the college level live just a couple months ago in Atlanta, and so that was big time. But, there are so many great performances this year. I'm not going to do maybe as similar of thing that he's going to do, listing off favorite memories and players and whatnot. We're going to be doing our scouting and making sure we collect names for our watch list that'll go ahead and drop in August, so my opinion will be there, obviously. And then you could always DM me as well. I'll be around. But more or less, this will be a little bit of a yap session for me, just to get some thoughts out there. And, what a season here. And technically our third year covering it. Our first 2 years it was ran by the Broncos, but we were able to help get it sanctioned, and I think that was an absolute game changer as it aligns this state with what they're doing on the college level and what they're doing in high schools around the country that have it sanctioned in their individual states. And so this is absolutely huge for Colorado to be in the position that we are in, and we were just happy for it to be sanctioned and for the rules to be the same. And, for our athletes to get a chance to potentially compete with, the talent and whatnot of other states by getting them up to speed here with sanctioning Colorado girls high school flag football. But this first sanctioned season will always mean a lot to all of us because we've been building to this for a long time now, since pretty much the beginning of the podcast here, as we've covered college girls flag football as well, women's flag football as well. And that's been great, but to see it here in our home state, in our communities, that is definitely it's eye-opening. And it's awesome to see that these athletes are opening doors for the future, and for athletes to, athletes in the future to have more opportunities than what they have right now. And I think we are well on the way there. After watching some of these players compete against each other this season, I cannot be more confident that the state of Colorado football is in great hands right now. There are a lot of players in the state that, in my opinion, can play on the college level and could probably take someone's job of a player that, has been playing since they were in elementary school and then all through high school and college, right? And that's not going to be a popular opinion, that's going to be held in that college community, especially because it's a community with a lot of players and coaches and people from the East Coast where they've been doing this thing since 1998, right? But I think that's just reality right now, that we are not as far off as some states think. And I'm biased, for sure. I'm definitely biased, but we got the athletes. And that was never a question. But after watching what we've watched this season, I have no doubt that these athletes could play on the next level. And in fact, I do think there are going to be a lot of athletes that unfortunately won't get the opportunity to play on the next level, but they do have the caliber of that. And, if there's anything we could ever do for any athletes out there that are looking to potentially compete and get an opportunity to play in college, please hit us up. We'll get you figured out. We'll try to push your name and whatnot, get some film hopefully out there as well, and get you right. We are obviously always going to be rooting for our athletes from Colorado to go succeed elsewhere after this. Peaking in high school is not the business that we are in. We're not trying to highlight that. We're trying to, give a taste into what the future may hold for these athletes on the next level by highlighting what they do on this level. And so, super excited for that. Cannot speak enough to all the great programs, coaches, players out there in the state, and just super excited for the future here. We're going to be covering a little bit of Summer League as well. We did it last, not like in detail last off season, but if you followed us on TikTok at Playmakers Corner, you were able to see a lot of the highlights from that, and a lot of those highlights are also posted on our YouTube channel. I think all of them are posted on our YouTube channel at Playmaker Corner. Eventually we'll get all the highlights from this season posted both on TikTok and on YouTube, and that'll be there forever. So yeah, but anyways, it's been a great season. Looking forward to more. I think next year is going to be extremely interesting to see, which teams take a step forward, right? A lot of teams, they got to play with these new rules in year one. Some of them finished maybe a little bit earlier than they wanted. I think that's going to pay off going into next year, though. And so we're already so excited for next season. We had nothing but positivity when me and the guys were debriefing at like 1 or 2 in the morning after doing boys end of the year award finalists. And we just couldn't talk enough about how happy we were that this thing was taking off, and that, you know, these athletes here in Colorado are balling out and competing and getting noticed by people out of state as well. And I think this is only the beginning, and we're just excited to see what the future holds. You know, we got to shout out all the players in the past here, the players that are seniors now but started 3 years ago, like the Molly Shell Peppers, Sailor Swanson, Sarah Walkers, Ducky Archuletas of the group, right? Even Jocelyn Huntsman, who has been around for 2 years. All those great players have been around, and they help establish this thing. And then now, you know, you got some new teams and players that are going to take over and are continuing to set that standard and push the level of competition in the state. And, you know, we are just excited to be able to give a spotlight to all of that. So there you go there. Those are my final thoughts for this season. All right, thank you so much for rocking with us. We got one more episode. It's going to be our 5A end of the year award show. That'll be out on November 8th. That should be a good one, so make sure you tune in. And then after that, you know, we won't be talking about Colorado girls high school flag football in a minute. We will be talking about women's college flag football in like February when we start doing season previews for those college teams. And there are a couple Colorado kiddos on that squad. Shout out Addison Cadwell over at Kansas Wesleyan and Leilani Kamal over at Ottawa. So it's going to be extremely exciting. And that's just to name a few. There's definitely more, right? Shout out William and Wood, but super excited for what the future holds. And make sure you check us out there. Show us some love at Playmakers Corner on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And, you know, we'll catch you later.